What's up, guys? Welcome back, man. We're live. I was looking down, waiting for it to pop up live, but here we go, man. Another episode of Sim Standard Hangout with myself and Smitty. I'm not sure if AzureEffect will make it. You guys, he told you before, not only does he have a new child in their life now, still dealing with school, so, he may make it, he may not, but we're still going to hold it down for him. But we definitely welcome you guys in, man. Of course, there's a lot to talk about. I know what's on everybody's mind, so we'll definitely address basically the topics. And I definitely want to tell y'all this right out the gate, and we'll say it again once we get to that topic. I know everybody's expectations now for this show, but not only this show. You've heard the investor call from EA. You heard them mention that Madden will be transitioning to Frostbite via Madden 18. That's what he said. That's what he said. Now, I need to let you guys know this. Myself, nor Smitty, nor AzureEffect can give you any comments in regards to Madden 18 at this moment. Nothing changes. Y'all know how we do this every single year. Andrew Wilson said what he said, just like we told you guys in the last investors call last year. Peter Soderlund said some things. So I would definitely tell you guys, listen to what they're saying. They're telling you what's going on, but y'all know the normal routine with us. We can't say anything about the game in terms of what's happening, none of that, until the developers start leaking that information. Y'all know the routine, so I just got to prep y'all for that, and I'll say this again once we get to that particular topic. But other than that, man, let me let you guys know what the topics will be. Then we'll go around, see how Smitty's week was, how my week was, etc., and then we'll jump right in. Any of you guys who want to come on tonight, I know someone did ask me on Twitter if we're taking calls. We're always taking calls. You guys are more than welcome. All you need to do is just let me know in the chat. If I don't see it in the chat, send me a tweet. Same thing for Smitty. Chat to Smitty or send Smitty a tweet to let us know you want to come in, and we'll just need your email address. And then you can decide whether you want to be on screen or just do a voice call. So let's go ahead and run into the topics, man. So first and foremost, we're definitely going to talk about Madden NFL transitioning to Frostbite. We're basically going to stick to what we heard in the call. We'll talk about what was said, and we'll also talk about what do we think that means for Madden in general, as far as once it gets to that platform. What does that mean? What type of things do we expect to see? And then I'm not talking specific year, just in general. Because, again, we can't go down that road with you guys. We also want to talk about slider relevance in reference to player ratings. Now, this is something that I actually thought about today. Let me briefly explain that so Smitty knows what I'm talking about. He probably already knows. But I want to talk about, man, the sliders in the game and how they need to be more cohesive with the actual ratings. Prime example, I don't know if any of you guys wasted 2 hours of your time and you watched my simulation video I put out there of the Super Bowl, 15 minutes, head-to-head broadcast view. There was a segment in that game where the Atlanta Falcons had a false start, like 5 or 6 times in this same drive, folks, 3 or 4 times back-to-back. Now, you know why that is? Because I'm using some sliders, some penalty sliders. That's a little crazy to me, so we'll get into that. We also want to talk about the latest information. Almost forgot about this until one of you guys mentioned it on Twitter, and that should tell you how much I'm thinking about it. The latest on Joe Montana football, guys. There's some gameplay footage out there, so we definitely got to talk about that. I also want to talk a little bit about some things that are not necessarily game related. Maybe we'll hit these first. Let's talk about, all of this talk about Carmelo going to Cleveland. Me and Smitty will talk about, do we like that trade if it happens? What could it mean for Cleveland if it does happen? And then also, we'll give our Super Bowl predictions. And like I said, maybe we'll do this first. That'll be our first 2 topics, kind of throw those together. Then we'll roll into the game and stuff. So there you have it. And whatever else comes up, whatever else you guys ask for us to, talk about here in the chat. Shout outs to my guy in Australia. He knows who he is. He's a big franchise guy. He always wants us to go down that road. I think we beat some of that with the dead horse, but if we get time to talk about that, we will. I did actually, and what I'm going to do, as well is I sent it to a couple people, but I'm actually going to, and Smitty knows about this, we have a group that we all chat on. Devs are in there. I'm going to send that actual link, man, to Operation Sports talking about how to rebuild franchise. A lot of those points that are on that particular thread is stuff that we've talked about. Yeah. And the more the merrier. So I'm going to post that in our group, tag the devs, and say, hey, reiterated, these are the things that we've talked about, and now you see is mass people in the community that want it. This is the stuff we got to push for going forward. So there you have it, guys. So let's go ahead and get started, man. Smitty, how was your week, man? Neither one of us have football really to talk about now, but whatever else you may just want to say before we jump into the show.
I'll say, first of all, that's our dude, Rohan. You know what I'm saying? Our dude, Rohan.
Yeah, that's it.
That be coming through. Yeah, I know. I got to look his name up, too, because I don't recall it off top. But, yeah, he be coming through with some points. Shout out to him. But, all in all, I mean, don't really have anything sports-wise really to talk about at this point. I mean, outside of what we're going to get into. I mean, Pistons, I pretty much touched on them, but they need, Drummond is playing way too dang on soft. Like, I'm sorry. He should be playing with a lot more heart. I mean, you're 270. You're like 275 or what have you, 6'11", 7 foot. Like, you need to be playing with a lot more intensity than that. But see, once again, this is why Drummond slipped as low as he did. He slipped. That's why he slipped to the 9th pick back then in the draft, because this was one of the things on his scouting report as a negative, was that his attitude when it comes to the game, giving full effort. And that right now, I mean, I see him on the floor, like, as athletic as he is and how he is when it comes to him gravitating to the ball, the way he's able to offensively when he chooses to. And see, that's the main thing. He looks like he's choosing his spots to step up instead of being consistent. And see, that's my thing. That's why I feel when it comes to basketball, they need to take the page from not NCAA, obviously, but and from football, from college football, how they do for NBA eligibility. I mean, NFL eligibility. You need to do the same thing with basketball. 3 years removed. You know what I'm saying? 3 years removed from college before you can declare. Because if Drummond had to go to college for more than 1 year, he would have had to develop and become more than what he is. So maybe he would have worked through that attitude issue that he had and built that up. But, he didn't do any of that. Like, he wasn't the leader on that UConn. I mean, he went to a prestigious program and he wasn't the marquee guy. So when, you don't really build upon what you already have going from high school to at least the collegiate level, that, it takes a developmental detriment, because you can essentially come in with a high school mentality, which it seems like he's starting to show. Like, yeah, he got this money, but he's not being the leader that he needs to be. Like, even if he's not the team leader, you need to step up. Like, you greatly have to step up. I mean, maybe he needs to spend the summer with Anthony Davis and learn some lessons, because Davis led a team. Even though, I mean, he had other NBA talent on that squad, pretty much. But there was no question that dude was a beast. And he led that team by his on the court aptitude, and then it transitioned to the NBA game. You see what I'm saying? Drummond, if he took what he did from high school and we saw some of that in college, and then he brought that to the pro game, it may be a different player. It may be a different discussion we'd be having right now. But it's lacking from that team. And I just feel that, maybe Stan needs to reduce his role. Instead of being coach and GM, just be coach. Or maybe just be GM, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, he can get talent, but he needs to know what to do with it. Like, you really need to know what to do with that team, because that team is in disarray right now. Like, they're not playing the way they need to play. You have too much talent. You have a lot of talent that you should be a third seed in the East, at least right now. I think they could be a second, but the way they're playing is way, way below their talent level. You see what I'm saying? So they need to step up and do a whole lot better than what it is that they're doing at this point. And like I said, it just has me. They're very disappointing to me. So, but I'll go from there and I'll throw it back to you, Sim.
Yeah, man, I have to rely on you with the Detroit. I was about to say Lions, but the Pistons, because I don't get to see them often. Would probably be the same way with my team, man. If I didn't live basically in Pennsylvania, where I could actually get the channel to watch the Sixers, probably wouldn't get to see them play. But pretty much in the semi-same boat with basketball. Of course, my week was great, man. I have no complaints there. But I'm gonna tell you guys something, man. I've been excited by what I see out of this young, hungry 76ers team. I'm a realist as far as a fan. I know we still are ways away. But it's funny, man, because I told Smitty this, every now and then me and Smitty will talk basketball. Last year, they could score, and they still can score, but they couldn't do anything in the fourth quarter last year. You're seeing that trend change a little bit now. Still, they're at the point when they get down, like the game, I believe it was last night I watched. Who was that? Against Dallas. It's like once they get down, sometimes they fall apart. But they are improving this year. But that nucleus of talent, if we could just get a legitimate, like a real point guard, maybe another two. Somebody that can run the shooting guard like on a consistent basis. We got a few pieces, but you look at a guy like Rodriguez. No disrespect, he's a Dellavedova type to me. Bring him off the bench, he can hold things down. Got a little, little shot. He can shoot the three. He's not anybody's starter in my opinion. Same thing with TJ McConnell. I like TJ, but he's a spark plug. I don't necessarily think he's your starter. So that's why I think if we get a real point guard in there, you got, the old veteran Gerald Henderson. You got some pieces. I love Robert Covington, but we still need like that third dimension because big man wise, let me say, you got Ilyasova now. He's been doing some things. Got Saric doing his thing. Of course, Embiid, Embiid banged his knee up a little bit, so he's been out. It's not serious, but they've been keeping him out. Okafor, to me, that's kind of the shaky piece. You never know. I kind of feel the same way that Smitty feels about Drummond. Okafor just, I don't know, man. Sometimes you look at him, you're thinking he could be the guy, and then other times you're like, I don't know. I actually like Noel a little better. When Nerlens Noel is on, he's balling. But, he's another guy that's up and down. But I love that nucleus, Smitty, what they got right now, man. It's fun to watch them because you just see that youth, the youth in them, and it's just it's almost like the Lakers. The Lakers team was like that early in the season where I enjoyed watching them when I saw them play. I was like, yo, this little young group of kids, man, they're going to be all right. So it's going to be interesting to see how these teams grow. I ain't thinking no playoffs. I'm not thinking no NBA title right now. But I'm on record saying that I think these boys going to be something in the next 2, 3, maybe 4 years.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm like, give them another at least 2 years. 2 years. I would say we don't know what Ben Simmons is going to fully bring to the table. So bring him into the mix. And let's say he has a breakout season along with, like, you got a healthy Embiid. You see what he's bringing to the table. And what's even more interesting, look at Ilyasova. See, look at what a difference the system makes.
Right.
He's in Orlando, he does okay. He's in Detroit, he does so-so. He goes over to Philly and he balling. Now, that ain't no coincidence. It's not like all of a sudden he got talent. No, it's because he fits in the system that they have there.
Absolutely.
It works for him. Just like looking at Embiid, the type of playing that he's doing. Like, dude's legit. Dude is legit.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? Like that guy, man. I mean, he was well worth the wait. Even with he had the injuries, but he's worth the wait. And that's why I'm like, man, it's a shame that Ben Simmons went down, because it'll be awesome to see both of those guys together and just grow together like that. So it'll be really interesting to see what those guys are going to be able to do together, because I agree with Charles. I think Charles has said it like a little while back. He said maybe 3 years from now they may be a contender. If with that nucleus, they'll be a contender.
Yeah, unless the East get extremely better in the next 3 years, anybody's a contender.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's true. But I'm saying at the track, at the pace that the Sixers are at,
right? Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? They can easily come up and be like, a two, or well, if depending upon what happens with Cleveland, of course. But they can definitely be a 2, like right up there in those top 4 spots easily, with their team the way they have it. I mean, of course, I'm pretty sure some pieces will be moved, but I'm saying keep Okafor. At least have Okafor as a guy that can be, forward or come off the bench and be part of that second unit. Right. And even with Noel and his sometime he plays, still you can always use somebody for defensive presence at times. He'll be helpful for that, because he ain't no star, but he definitely is a nice utilized. He is a nice utility player. So adding him, keeping him around, they actually, honestly, for once, it's nice to say that Philly has drafted some legitimate pieces that are actually worthwhile. And they actually are panning out. I mean, I know it's been crazy. They've had so many high picks, but they got some dudes, like, it's starting to gel. Now, they need to keep these guys there, though. I mean, that's going to be the challenge at some point, because, that, whatchamacallit, salary cap going up and everything, dudes are going to want so much dang on money, they're not going to clearly be able to keep all of them. But
right.
If anything, if definitely Embiid is your centerpiece, you keep him, you make him your career big man there. And if Simmons pans out, definitely you keep those 2 pieces. That's your 1-2 connection, and then you build around that. So,
man, if Simmons, if he pans out, I just can't wait to see it. I mean, believe it or not, I didn't see him play that much in college. I caught some games, so I was able to see the talent he possesses. But if he can play like he played in college, I mean, with the court vision and all that kind of stuff, it could get crazy. I like what they got there. Even some of the bench players, man, like Stauskas. I mean, they got components of a team that could compete once they mature a little better. Get another piece. I think they'll be all right. So while we talk about basketball, Smitty, we might as well hit this topic, and then we'll go into the Super Bowl stuff, and then after that, we'll jump into all the gaming.
Yeah.
Melo to the Cavs. Is this what everyone is saying that might be in the works? Is the likes of people like Stephen A. and Max Kellerman and all these other people giving their debates on it? I'll give my quick thoughts. Now, initially, I was thinking, let's see. I'm looking at the Cavs team the way it's constructed right now. Let's say minus a J.R. Smith, because that's another piece that people are forgetting that is key to their success, to what they were able to do last year. Believe it or not, the inconsistent J.R. Smith actually had very consistent moments for them in that road to the finals and even in the finals. Looking at how that team is constructed right now, my initial thought was LeBron likes to hold the ball sometimes, even though he's a pretty good distributor. I love when he's bringing the ball up the court, because LeBron's court vision and all of that, crazy.
Yeah.
Kyrie is the type of guy that's going to own the moment. When he feel like he want it, he gonna go get it. He gonna take the shot. He gonna drive to the paint. I love guys like that. Create your own shot. So I look at everybody else. Now, Kevin Love, here's how I feel about Kevin Love since he got to Cleveland. I like Kevin Love for what he can potentially do. I'm not always sold on Kevin Love, because to me, he just doesn't do it consistently, and I don't know if it's the system, I don't know if it's just he's not getting the touches, but sometimes Kevin Love doesn't come up that big for you. He can shoot the three when he's on. He can even, he got a little post game, but Kevin Love to me doesn't create his own shot. And I look down the list, there's not a whole lot of guys on that team, if any, that can do that. Now, J.R. Smith is the type of dude, again, spark plug. That boy get hot, feed him the rock. He might drop 7 threes for you. Defense, Shumpert plays pretty decent defense. To me, Shumpert still he don't scare nobody on offense no more, if he ever did. So I'm just looking at it like that, and I'm thinking, 3 guys that kind of want the ball. But then I thought long and hard about it, Smitty, and what you just said a few moments ago about system. I really do think if Melo went to Cleveland, I don't think Melo would be the same dude trying to shoot all the time. I think he would be able to play within that system with LeBron. Number one, they're friends. Number two, I'm sure they'll be able to come to some type of understanding, some type of chemistry will form, much like how it happened in Miami. Because remember, I don't know if I ever said this on air, but I remember talking. We might have even talked one time when we was down at EA about that situation when I was like, man, I don't know how it's going to work because D Wade's still going to want to be the man of the team. You're going to have to feed it to Bosh every now and then. So who's going to be the alpha guy? Is it going to be LeBron? Is it going to be Wade? I didn't know how that was going to work out. Come to find out, it worked out pretty well. I think Melo in that situation could work, and here's the reason why. That's a third guy that can create his own shot. That's one thing that Cleveland really don't have outside of LeBron and Kyrie. Who else you feel comfortable with the ball with 6 seconds left on the shot clock? Everybody else on the team gonna probably do a little dribble. They either gonna pass it or they gonna shoot it from 30. Like they gonna pull up jack of a 3. Melo, if he gets in that situation, Melo can still score the ball. Regardless of what people say, I know it doesn't look that good in New York right now, but Melo is still a guy that can score. That's the only reason why I think it would work. Y'all know I watch First Take all the time because, I work from home. So I always watch it, kills time. I have to agree with this point, Smitty, before I throw it to you. Max Kellerman said today, or it might have been yesterday, but whatever. He said the only problem with it is you look at the KD situation in Golden State. Even with them, it looked a little shaky early. They were still winning, but the chemistry wasn't quite there. Now, you seeing where KD is like, it's like a match made in heaven with all them boys. But his point was they added him in the offseason. You had a little more time to get things going. You had the early part of the season, and now it's coming, it's getting real smooth right now. He's basically saying if they were to trade Melo at this point of the season, would they have that chemistry together by the playoffs? That's an interesting point. I don't know. So I'll end it with this, man. I like the trade. I honestly think, and you got to love Melo for his, I guess his loyalty or whatever reason he wanted to, he put the no trade clause in his contract for the Knicks. But I don't think it's going to happen for him there. And, he's a little older. People can say what they want. To me, Smitty, I don't necessarily agree with, superstars going to be with superstars, but LeBron kind of kicked it off when him and Wade, even though I still will say I didn't like that move. Y'all remember that. But I still don't think it's as bad as what KD did. I don't like either one. So don't come at me. People will be like, oh, how you going to say that? But LeBron did it. You're right. I didn't like either one of the moves. But I definitely don't like what KD did. After that situation, y'all had them boys beat. I wanted to see his competitive fire and be like, nah, we're going to get them next year. And then if it ain't work, then go somewhere. That's just my opinion. No hate towards I'm about to say Garnett. No hate towards Durant. It is what it is. Get your money. I'm just saying I didn't like that from a competitive standpoint. When LeBron went to Miami, it wasn't like Miami was this beast team. I looked at that no different than kind of like what Paul Pierce and Garnett and old boy did. Kinda, you see what I'm saying? So I didn't like either situation, but I think KD's was worse. But anyway, to round this up, if Melo were to join that team, could be something. But I think it ain't gonna happen for him in New York, man. So why not? You getting on the end, later end of your career. It ain't gonna happen for you in New York. Cleveland probably would have to give up Love and somebody else. I think you make that trade if you can make it happen. See what happens. I ain't got no beef with it. I would like to see it actually, because right now I don't see nobody that's going to compete with Golden State, and we pretty much can all say it's going to be Cleveland and Golden State. So I'd rather see two teams who really got a chance to beat one another go at it. So that's my piece on it. What you think, Smitty? I know you usually have a much deeper analysis of it. I always love hearing your thoughts on the basketball tip.
Well, my thing is, see, I would have to disagree with that. I think that would be a huge detriment to the team because, to Cleveland. Because Carmelo, Kevin Love is averaging 20 and 10. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. He's averaging 20 and 10.
That. Yeah, because I just pulling up the stats here, while you were talking, and when you look at it, Kevin Love averages 20 and 10. Now, he averages 15 shots. Let me see. Yeah, he averages 15 shots a game. Okay, so now he has no problem though with deferring. That's why when people is questioning Love looks like he's just there. But this year, in comparison to other seasons, he's coming more into his own on that team. Even though, he is taking a backseat approach. The first 2 seasons he was with the team, he was averaging around 16 and 9. You see what I'm saying? Or close to 10 boards. 16, and close to 10 boards. Now he's averaging 20 and 11. See what I'm saying? So when you look at that, he's come into his own with the team. That makes a huge difference. Now, excuse me. Now, when you look at Carmelo Anthony, even with Porzingis there, Melo's a black hole in New York. Whether they're gelling, winning, losing, whatever. People boo him in New York when he do all that ISO stuff on his own. Because they want him to give it up to Porzingis because they see Porzingis like, yo, this dude's legit. Give him the ball. What you doing all that ISO crap for? No,
Porzingis,
give it up.
Porzingis going to be a beast. Y'all keep watching.
Yeah.
That's the new Dirk Nowitzki right there for the next 10 years.
Yeah. And see, the thing is that, when you look at Cleveland, they're going through a stretch where they're having their issues, but they're not as bad as people are making it all out to be. It's like as soon as LeBron runs and cries, all of a sudden it's like, oh, we got to do everything. We got to trade for everybody to do. No, they don't need to do all that. You just got Kyle Korver, and see to your point about
Kyle Korver. You're absolutely right about that.
That goes to your point about taking that final shot at the buzzer. Now, Kyle Korver, is he Mr. Create his own shot? No, but that's been his career. His career has not been, I'm going to create my own shot. He's been running off screens his whole career. That's what he did in Atlanta. That's what made him an all-star. Was because they were able to spread the floor because they had multiple scoring threats, but plus they would run plays with him coming off screens and busting threes. So if he's doing all that, then why don't you give Korver those opportunities? Make some plays for him instead of giving it to Kyrie and watching him ISO and get his handle on. I mean, it's nice to watch, but you need to go from that and actually incorporate the whole team. It doesn't need to be about LeBron. Because, see, the problem is LeBron, the ball has to be in his hands. Kevin Love, he's shown he doesn't necessarily have to have the ball in his hands. But then Kyrie, he got to have the ball. You can't have 3 dudes on the team where they have to have the ball in their hands. That's too much. And you already got Kevin Love. Look, just in case folk forgot, before Kevin Love came over, this dude averaged 26 points and 12 and a half boards before he came to Cleveland. This dude was gargantuanly balling where he was at. Now he came in and he sacrificed 10 points per game, 10 points and 10 points and a good 3 rebounds off his average to take a lesser role and get all this scrutiny when he came to Cleveland. Just like what happened with Bosh. It's no different. But you're talking about Carmelo Anthony coming in, and what, he gonna take a back seat? Let me ask you this. Did he take a back seat in the Olympics? Nope, he sure didn't. But see, they needed him to ball, and they put the ball in his hands and let him take all the shots that he needed to take there. You think that whole dynamic is just gonna all of a sudden open up where Carmelo's just gonna back off and they're gonna be
it would take
not
a
gonna
minute.
do that.
It would take a while.
It would take a while, but then when you go to the whole Kevin Durant point, Kevin Durant is selfless. This dude will average. My man will average 30 points, and you'll be like, "Dang, I didn't know he took that many shots a game. I thought he only took like 8 or 9." You wouldn't think of it because he's not holding the ball like that. Even though yes, he can create his own shot. We all know that he can drive to the rack. He can. Well, he's not strong at posting up, but he's great at driving. He's great at with his pull-up shots and everything. He's multifaceted talent, but he'll give up that ball in a heartbeat and be like, "Hey, man, I want to win. Here, you have the ball." He'll give it up to anybody. You see what I'm saying? And LeBron, he'll give it up, but he wants people that are going to just straight up win. Like, why not give Kay Felder, that point guard you drafted? Why not give my man a shot? Give him a legitimate shot as a backup.
They definitely need a backup point guard. Absolutely.
And that's the thing. But see, the thing is, I feel that they already got one, and they need to give him a chance. Like, he's a rookie. And they did the same thing with Norris Cole. What about Mario Chalmers? What about Norris Cole? Those guys, they went for Miami when LeBron was there. So do the same thing here. And I know, and Felder can be more than enough to allow Kyrie to get some rest while doing, running the offense, accordingly. I mean, Cleveland has enough talent. That's why I agree with Barkley and what he said about LeBron. Now, I don't agree with the whole LeBron doesn't want it or whatever. I think he said, like, LeBron don't want it or whatever. As far as, him wanting to win or play or whatever, I forgot the exact statement, but I do agree with he's crying and he need to stop. What else does he need? He don't need nothing else. That dude's got a super team within a super team, pretty much. I mean, he's got more than enough talent to ball with and make things happen. If they're not getting it done, then you got to fight through it. It's called adversity. LeBron's going to have to actually face it. You see what I'm saying? He faced it. The thing is, he's been so used to not really facing adversity as far as losing like that. He's felt, he's fell into a comfort zone. And now he's like, man, I'm being took out my comfort zone. I don't like the fact that this month wasn't good. Well, that's tough. Detroit dealt with it, and they went and won a championship. You know what I'm saying? They had their stints where it was tough for us in certain aspects and facets of the team chemistry, but they had to play through it. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you're going to have to play through it. You're going to have to, instead of trying to make it all out like I'm doing my job and everybody else needs to step up. But the thing that you need, but the thing that from what like you have your superstars, you have your superstar talent already there. You got Kyrie, you got Kevin Love, you have a legitimate amount of supporting cast. You got a legitimate supporting cast. You have you got another all-star in Kyle Korver on your squad too. Now you're telling me you need five all-stars on your team. 5 starting role players. That matter of fact, just hold on, just real quick here, because I know that Kyle Korver is averaging like 8-9 points a game right now. So if I look at Korver real quick here, just bear with me a minute, y'all, on this. But let's see, Cleveland. Yeah. So he's averaging 8 points a game right now. Now when he went to the All-Star game, okay. All right. He wasn't killing it with he wasn't killing it with points per game. I mean, he was on the team as a reserve, but he was averaging 12 points a game. Okay, so that's the most he actually averaged. But the point is that for the role that he had, I mean, look, he's not that far off from his average. But once again, these are guys that are all falling into a role and are fine with being added on, because when Korver got added on to the team initially, people like, man, they got Kyle Korver? Oh, man, it's a wrap. It's a wrap on the East. These dudes going to be able to do all this stuff. These dudes hit a rough patch, and now all of a sudden, oh, we need other pieces, and we need a point guard now, and we need this. That. No. Play K. Felder. Instead of giving him less than 20 minutes a game, give the man 25. Give him 25 minutes a game consistently. Let that man command the offense while, dudes get some rest. And you gotta, and the thing is, you gotta learn to play through adversity, because if you don't do that, when you get to the playoffs and the finals and all that stuff, if they go, which more than likely they will, you're gonna get spanked, because LeBron, LeBron and Kyrie, you're gonna have that starting 5 is gonna have to play 40 plus minutes just to hang around, and you can't have that. You can't have that. Not with this team. You know what I'm saying? Like Kevin Durant opening it up. Like, look, I understand they beat him at Christmas and all that stuff, but look, don't look for Richard Jefferson to be turning back the clock for a whole series. Don't look at Channing Frye and all these dudes just ball out of control all of a sudden. Now, maybe if J.R. Smith, when he comes back into the mix at some point, that'll be the light, that'll be the fire in the bottle. That'll take him over the edge. But even then, you still got to go up against Golden State with that team, and you're going to have to battle through. So I don't know. But back to the Melo point, you put Melo on that team, you could honestly, you could forget about it, because Carmelo is going to get into himself a bit too much. And I don't know how friendly the sideline would be if you got LeBron over there, basically poking his chest out at Carmelo. I don't know if Carmelo gonna take that lightly. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden just step back. It's not like how it was with, KG, Pierce, and Allen. Those are guys from a different school. They're from a more of an old school type basketball mindset. You're not gonna see Melo on the sideline crying because LeBron ripped into him. If anything, you'll see him step up to LeBron because of it. You see what I'm saying? So these dudes are two different, it's a different era. So we'll see. But I mean, I hope they don't do that move. But if they do, and they end up taking L's, LeBron earned it. You know what I'm saying? Because instead of fighting through the bad time and making it a good time, you just chose to say, "Oh, I'm just gonna, seal this hole real quick for me," instead of finding out how to seal the hole yourself and going up on the roof and actually patching it. You see what I'm saying? Like, complete difference. So, but I'll throw it back to you, Sim.
Yeah, man, I think it's interesting. A lot of great points Smitty made. I don't know. I just think it's very interesting. Like I typed in the chat, I said fans are harsh because I see the one guy said LeBron cries all the time, and I don't know, man. I think I look at things a little differently, because there's a whole lot of superstars that I felt like in basketball that cried a lot, but I don't know all the ins and outs. So sometimes I give teams and players the benefit of the doubt. And in regards to LeBron, I guess what I'm saying is they did it last year. You know, they had adversity. Even in the finals, they was down. I mean, I know a lot of craziness happened with suspensions and stuff like that, but even in the first one against Golden State, he balled crazy in that finals, and it just didn't happen. So I don't know. You know, maybe LeBron is, and what the reports were saying, that he basically feels like the team is not what it was last year. And that's the reason why he feels like they need an extra component. I can't really be mad at that. Now, if he's like trying to flex his muscles on the brass, then yeah, you know, just play. You know, like Smitty said, y'all got a team enough to where y'all should be able to do something. But like I said, I mean, you flip the coin, it could go either way. Some people may say, well, what's the harm in him wanting to arm his team with more potency? I can't really fault. Like I said, man, after what Kevin Durant did, I don't want to hear it from nobody. I don't want to hear it from nobody. Can't nobody tell me nothing about any other player in building a team after the move that Kevin Durant did. That's just my opinion. Because if any time, because I had this discussion with people a lot, they say, "Oh man, well, so and so did this and so and so did that." Yeah, but look at what KD did. Nothing tops that. You go to a team that won 73 games in the regular season. Not only did they do that, that team, you and your boy had them up. Y'all was up 3-1. All you had to do is win a game. One game. And you lost to them. So then you go join them boys. That'll be the equivalent. I'm going to throw a joke at y'all real quick. I see we got AZ in here. I'm going to throw him in, and then we'll get into the Madden stuff. That'll be the equivalent of me leaving this show, right? I ain't doing Sim Standard radio anymore. I ain't even a part of the Sim Standard, and I go get with the other movement. That's the equivalent of that. Think about it. It's the equivalent of me doing that, just being like, oh, I'm gonna go rock with them cats. And now I'm talking about everything that me and Azure and Smitty ever tried to build up. Now I'm shooting holes and all that. Come on, son. I'm just saying. Like I said, what Smitty said about LeBron and the team, I fully agree with. I'm just addressing folks that have so much like disdain towards what LeBron does. And I'm like, I get it. But bruh, if we're gonna accept KD, and it's nothing no other team or no other player can do that's gonna make me feel a certain way if I'm gonna accept KD. Just like now, I wish that trade would have happened, that Chris Paul trade would have happened. Now that all of these mega trades, you know, and stuff, and people going at all these different teams, I would have loved for them to have let that Chris Paul trade go through some years back, and who knows how that would have turned out. But AZ, man, I see that we got you on. We'll throw you into this topic. Basically, the question was, there's a lot of speculation or people saying they want to see this. Some say they don't want to see it as far as the trade, you know, with Carmelo going to Cleveland. Would you be in favor of that? And, you know, just give your thoughts on it, whichever way, whether you like it or don't like it. How would you feel about that trade?
This is the new NBA. I mean, let's just get used to it. All these guys are friends, and you don't really have the cutthroat competition that we grew up on watching, you know, the NBA, NFL, that type of stuff. Because even in the Pro Bowl, man, when I see, you know, Odell Beckham and Bryant, even though they play on offense and they're still division rivals, you know what I'm saying? So when I see them all buddy, it just, you know, it don't seem right to me. So I just think that it's gotten to the point where in sports, the world is so small that these dudes are just friends and they won't play together if they, you know, have a chance to. And unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. We have to just kind of accept the fact. I don't like it because, you know, the basketball that I grew up on, you try to get you a star player and build around them. And you build role players around them, not put other superstars with them to create super teams. But,
yeah,
you know, we saw this with, I think, what? No, I don't know. I can't remember who was really first, but we saw it with Boston and KG, Ray Allen, and whatnot. And we saw it with the Lakers when they tried to get the old Karl Malone, Gary Payton, duo stuff going. But
yeah,
you know, that's sports nowadays. And even Charles Barkley, at the end of his career, trying to go to Houston with Hakeem and Clyde. So, I mean, it did happen, you know, because I think people just got fed up to say, well, I'm going to team up, you know, and, you know, do what I got to do to get me a championship. So, I don't know. I don't like it. Like I said, that's another reason why I didn't like the fantasy football aspect of the Pro Bowl. I like it more AFC versus NFC. You know what I mean? Like bring that conference pride back. You know? So I don't know, man. These dudes too much of friends nowadays in the off season, and they have the same agents and train together, and it's not like it used to be, man. So it's unfortunate because I would love to see, you know, that Kobe mentality of leave me here and put me some people around me. I'll carry the team on my back if I have to. So, I don't know. A part of me, I mean, since it's just going that way, would like to see Carmelo play with LeBron. I don't think it fits schematically.
Right.
You know, but these dudes, they play together in the Olympics and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure they would try to find a way to make it work. But for the Cavs to say that they're not going to give up Kevin Love, how are you going to get Carmelo there? Like, that just seems like some shadiness altogether. If they
you got to give up Love. You're going to have to.
Right. If you get Carmelo and you don't give up Kevin Love, that's a shady deal right there. I mean, you know, the Warriors, they lost their bench. So their bench is real weak. But, you know, you have so much firepower up front, it's kind of like, okay, you know, that's just what they're rolling with. So
man, they got JaVale McGee. What you talking about? They've been strong, bro.
McGee is, you mean the star of Shaqtin' the Fool every week?
My goodness, man. How is he still in the league? I usually don't say that about players because I'm not a hater like that, but bro,
he's 7'12", bro. That's why he's still in the league.
He still make plays though.
On the bench.
Look,
he still make plays though.
He'll give you 6 good fouls and maybe 2 blocks. So you know, hey, if you can get a dude who's 7'12" and give you 6 good fouls, hey, they pay for that. They pay the league minimum for that, but I don't know. I don't like it, but it's just the way of the NBA and sports nowadays, man. So it's unfortunate, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man, we could talk about this forever, man. But we'll definitely move on. But you know, like I said, man, my last point to it is I kind of feel kind of like what Azure said. I think Azure put a bow on what me and Smitty both were kind of saying is that, you know, we grew up, you know, we're not that old, but our era, you know, we was able to see, we were young when Jordan was playing. So we was able to still see that and see the bad, you know, a little bit of the bad boys and the, you know, the Anthony Masons of the world, you know, those Nick, we saw when guys went at it. And we heard that Jordan and Barkley was good friends, but they weren't going to play together, even though Barkley did. I will concede because Barkley's one of my favorite players of all time. But I will concede, you know, he did do it too when he tried to go to Houston. But at the same time, like Azure said, I wouldn't mind seeing it. You know, it might work, might not work, but I'm not opposed to seeing Melo and LeBron play to see how that would work. I mean, what do I got to lose to watch it? And last thing I'll say on that, I don't know, man. I think I'm a little different as a fan of basketball, football, etc. Me personally, man, I don't beat the players up too much because for one, I don't know these guys. For two, it ain't my life. For three, I know when money is involved, do what you got to do. You know, you're putting your body at risk. Maybe not as much in basketball as football, but do what you want to do with your career. You know, like I don't get into the whole, you know, and I know I'm not saying that we can't be, you know, critical and have our opinions, but I don't get into the whole, this dude is soft, that dude's a punk. I don't know these dudes, man. You know, I see people say so much about LeBron. I mean, the man is a 3-time champion. At the end of the day, he's been to these consecutive finals, and we can say what we want about, you know, the teams that he's been on, but let's not forget he went to the finals with the first Cleveland team. And that's when he was really by himself. You know what I mean? So you can't discredit the man's talent. Like, I just hate when I see people do that. You know, when people say, oh, that dude sucks, or he's a bum, he's a scrub. Bruh, come on. Stop with all that. Have your opinion about how they play, but that's just my opinion. I just don't do the whole personal with, you know, sports figures. I don't know these dudes. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know these dudes. So there you have it. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Again, I have to tell you guys this. Azure wasn't on earlier when I said this, and now y'all got my son coming up in here making noise. Hold on, man. Go over there for a second, okay? But in regards to Madden 18, in regards to Madden and Frostbite, guys, we can't say anything to you. All right? We all heard the phone call. You know, I want to keep saying that because we told y'all last year what was said in the phone call with Patrick Sutherland. This particular EA conference call, Andrew Wilson, you heard what he said. You heard the words that he said. So he basically said that this would be happening and the transition should take place in Madden 18. That's what he said. As far as Smitty, Azure, and myself, we can't say anything about Madden 18, nor can we talk about what Frostbite is doing. None of that. Because we are unable to do that until the developers speak themselves. I just want to preference everybody with that because I know people are fishing for information. Y'all know how this go. Y'all know how this go. We go through this every single year. I'm getting so many messages. I'm like, why are you asking? I can't tell you nothing. It's February. Think about that. If that call hadn't happened, there would be none of this. Then y'all probably would start poking for information around April, May. The Super Bowl ain't even happened yet. Y'all know we can't talk about nothing. I'm not going to say, yeah, I'm going to confirm. Yeah, that is. I can't say none of that. All I could do is talk about that phone call. All right. So in the phone call, he said that. So what we want to talk about, man, is basically what we want to find out from you guys. I'll throw it to Smitty and Azure as well. I'll give my light component to it, but knowing that that's happening and try not to focus specifically on 18 and 19 and 20 and whatever. But what I want to know, guys, is I want to know what the audience, you know, what they are expecting Frostbite to do. And the reason why I wanted to have this conversation, shout outs to DJ81, man. DJ, I'm going to tell you like this. There's certain people in the YouTube community. DJ is one. NYK is another. Even myself. I may have, you know, close to 13,000 subscribers, which is really not that much if y'all look at who the real big YouTubers are. But I consider myself still a small channel. Someone like DJ81, a small channel, or NYK, small channel. But these guys give some of the best information. They use their head. They are rational. Go check out DJ's in his video. He gave a reflection on what it means. And DJ is one of those guys that always thinks about things realistically. And he gave what he thought it would mean for the next Madden and things like that. So I wanted to hear what people are saying, man, because this is what I want everyone to notice. Before you get so overly excited, and let me preface with this. I'm not saying this in regards to because I've seen stuff. No, that is not coming from that. Because y'all know sometimes when the information starts coming out, we're able to kind of tell you guys, you know, what feel we're getting from stuff. None of that has happened. So this is just me purely saying this as just myself, not influenced by anything I may or may not know. But this is what I think about when I hear about transition. AzureEffect gonna laugh when I say this because he know I always say this. I remember that time when I saw this commercial and it told me Madden Next Generation. And I said, oh, I'm buying that. I'm getting that.
Buddy.
Oh, boy, did they? I mean, they ain't even have to use no real bait. They, you know, I was the fish that just bite on everything. They ain't have to use no real worm.
You was
or nothing.
on top of the water. You wasn't.
Oh, I was just sitting there like, come on, let me have it. I run out and I get a 360. I put that game in and I'm like, looks different, but this is not what I saw in that commercial. Now, the reason why I'm saying this, guys, is we've seen transitions happen. We've seen Madden go from the older generations to the PS4 and Xbox One. And what I'm saying is I've been seeing a lot of speculation in just this one day with people thinking, oh, this is going to do, this is going to do. I'm talking, they're thinking the very next game. And I'm like, if we know anything, most of us gamers are probably, most of us in this community are probably anywhere from 25 to maybe even 45, maybe 50. Because I've talked to some gentlemen who are a little older. We should be smart enough to kind of understand how these games work. DJ made a good point. We saw what PGA Tour did. No, not that one. The first one, I think it was, it might have been PGA Tour when it first went to Frostbite.
Yeah, it was PGA. Yep.
Okay. We saw what it started doing in Battlefield. And Battlefield probably, they had it first. So you start seeing the progression. So what I'm saying is, without knowing anything, without seeing anything with my own eyes, I'm not expecting this groundbreaking situation the first go around. The same thing I said about Madden 25. Y'all remember that? I was like, think about it. Even what we saw at E3, the presentation that they showed us of that game that was on the PS4 build looked good, but it didn't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't see anything that was just groundbreaking right out the gate. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I would imagine, and of course, guys, if everything is happening the way that Andrew Wilson is saying, of course, there's going to be a point in this year where we'll be able to talk. Y'all know the routine. So when that happens, we'll be able to really give some more meat and potatoes to things. But I'm imagining that these are my expectations. I don't know if the transition game will be that one that knocks your socks off. It's never been in any game that I played. NBA 2K, NBA 2K14, did that knock your socks off? No. FIFA. Let's think about this for a minute. What changed in gameplay in FIFA? Literally, what changed? FIFA was already a great game, so it's almost not fair. But just think about that. Was there a huge difference? Like if you just look at the game in action or even presentation, was there a huge difference from FIFA 16 to FIFA 17? Now that FIFA 17 was on Frostbite? So what I'm trying to say is, and I don't know. We might get surprised. I might be come June or whenever it's time where I can talk. And like I said, if everything is going the way that we were told in that phone call, conversation, I might be telling y'all like, oh man, y'all ain't gonna believe this. I don't know yet. But what I'm saying is my expectations based on experience, I gotta wait and see. I think it's a wonderful thing though. Why? And I know I went a little longer than I expected. Apologize, but real quick, the reason why I think it's a wonderful thing, because I think now that little stuff that we've been asking for, dynamic weather, I think we're gonna see it on that engine. You know why? Battlefield has it. You know why? FIFA has better weather than Madden. I'm thinking we're gonna start seeing some things like that. I would expect to start seeing environment in general, you know, the textures and all of that stuff. Crowd. I mean, I would expect that stuff to be what Frostbite brings to the table. Now, I don't know what Frostbite brings to the table in terms of gameplay. I have no idea because again, I played FIFA 16. I played FIFA 17. Gameplay felt the same. It's already a great game, but y'all understand what I'm trying to say? I don't know. I have nothing to go on, and I see these lofty expectations. Man, you heard what that dude said? Madden 18 gonna be it's gonna be off the chain. How do you know that? We don't know. We have no game, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Can't wait to hear what Smitty and Azure says. We have no game to literally say, oh, because of Frostbite, the gameplay did this. We don't know that. Think about it. We don't know that. Battlefield still has issues, right? It's been on Frostbite for a long time. So all I'm saying is, y'all know we gonna bring y'all the real, man. If this thing is going on, we gonna tell y'all when we can tell y'all, and we gonna tell y'all the real. Like, all right, this from our experience. Okay, this is what y'all should expect. You know what I mean? But other than that, I'm excited by it, man, because I really think, and I have no way of knowing this. So y'all know sometimes I try to drop your little sneaky bone. I'm not doing that here. I promise y'all. I personally feel like Ignite was the engine that was supposed to allow tech to be shared. But I'm starting to think that something went wrong with it, or it wasn't as powerful. Because if you listen to Andrew Wilson and you listen to what Patrick Sutherland said last year, they're preaching the same message. I don't believe they're going to preach the same message and fail again. I believe that this Frostbite tech must be the engine that will allow games to share tech, because that's the message. Think about what Patrick's called. I mean, he was really driving it home like, man, we're going to be on the same code and da-da-da-da. And then here come Andrew saying the same. I mean, they're basically saying all of our games are transitioning. All of them. Because Ignite, if I'm not mistaken, was really just promoting their sports titles. Frostbite is what they're saying is going to be the main code for everybody. Every game will be running primarily in that engine, and then everyone has their own assets. So that's why I'm excited, man, because I look at NHL, physicality, puck physics. I look at FIFA. I look at the environment and all of that. But guess what else? AZ, he going to feel me on this. Them players ain't connected to the field in FIFA. Not the way we want it to be. Player movement's good, but they're not connected to that field. Like I'm talking about, this could be maybe overthinking it because it's a video game. I want physics to be involved in running. I want that foot to actually boom, boom, boom. And the way you press off, that will determine acceleration and cuts and all. That's what I want. Now, I could be maybe 6 years ahead. I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. I have no idea what that means for gameplay. And not at this moment. But sorry for taking so long, guys. Y'all know sometimes we get overexcited when we start talking. But Smitty, man, you know the routine. I know you know what to do. We can't really tell these guys. We can't really say much. All we can do is refer to that phone call. But I will ask you, what do you think that would mean for a Madden brand? You know, going to a Frostbite engine.
Excuse me. I mean, there's a lot of possibility, but like what people are already saying in the comment section, you're talking at least maybe 2 years before you even start to see anything. And now I know that this would be more of like a refresher in terms of talking about this, because we said this before. Even when it came to the Sutherland call back then in the summer, when we were saying, even when they bring these games over, it's not going to be year one they got it. It may be year 2, year 3 before they're actually able to start doing stuff. You see what I'm saying? Before they start to get in some kind of comfortable rotation as far as the code base. So, but does it open up the possibility for those things to happen? Like, for example, I know some people, you may not have seen the video done by Good Game Brothers, our dude Dougie. And he basically was talking about aspects of FIFA and being able to incorporate that into Madden, things that we've said, especially me, I've said a million times. Player movement, the ball physics being a lot more independent, the jersey pulls, stuff like that, the inclement weather, the turf actually getting messed up based upon actual wear and tear, like people running over areas and stuff like that. Players feeling more connected to the field. And, FIFA, I mean, are they one-to-one connected? No. The only game where players in a sports game felt one-to-one connected onto the field was Backbreaker. That's it. That was the only game.
Yeah.
So, and I mean
Right.
that game had the motion. You know, every game is gonna have motion shifting and sliding to some degree, but that's the only game. Because if you remember when you did your sidestep jukes and stuff like that, your leg position wasn't always the same. It was based upon where your feet were when you made the move, and you made it accordingly. And even when it came to running and spinning and cutting and all of your movement was foot plant. Like what Sim just said, it was boom, 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 boom. You had to, every foot had to plant. So, you know, so yeah, it's you know, it's gonna be interesting to see how these guys are able to build accordingly. And also, like you said too, about, you know, what's already done in Battlefield. You know, look at what's going on in Battlefield with the weather in that game. Having those elements, being able to bring that into Madden, that's gonna make a big deal. Like that would be huge to have that stuff happen in the game. So, you know, and then from what's in FIFA, they have it where, you know, if you miss multiple shots on goal, your team morale will go down. Not only that one player, but your team morale. Like when those people have those negative reactions on the field, throwing their hands up, putting their hand behind their head, and all mad and stuff. That was an aspect they added into FIFA in terms of player, you know, like they'll get discouraged when you miss goals and stuff like that. That would be nice to see that stuff actually be an element in Madden, you know, bring it from FIFA, put it into Madden and tweak it to football. That would be huge. See what I'm saying? So there's I mean, excuse me, it opens up the door to a lot of great possibility due to that. You know what I'm saying? It's just that it's gonna take time. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take time to see what this game is gonna actually bring forth to the table. I know people are going to get overly excited with anticipation. They're gonna see it and they're gonna be like, OMG, like, you know, and they're gonna think that every single feature of football is gonna be done that year. And it's not. They're gonna do the same thing when it comes to the next year. Oh, but they're automatically gonna start running the FIFA and all these other games. Oh, look, but this game and that, like, you still gotta be realistic with what's going on. You know what I mean? Like how things are being shown. That's just the way that it has to be done. You know what I mean? And no, and I mean, like, I'll just say this real quick. So I'm in Mill Ticket. He makes a point here. He's saying he feels that every year is a small step for Madden. He says it respectively. And this is a point that I had made, you know, and I'll throw it to AZ after this. This is a point that I had made on OS before to some people, because they said that Madden didn't do much. I think it was like Madden 16 people had, like, yeah, some people say they didn't do much of anything. And I'm like, well, how many times did we hear about double team pass blocking and wide out DB interactions and ball physics and trench play, gap integrity, you know, zone play on defense? Like, when you bring up those kind of points, are those huge, mind-blowing, epic proportion greatness? No, it's not. But it's integral to football. So to the casual or to the general consumer, it's not going to be big. But to us, that's big, because we're harping on it. You know, we're saying we want to see those things. So it's going to be a big deal to us. But, you know, because think about it. Think about the aspects of the game that got tuned. Line play. Well, yeah, the line play, gap play to an extent. No, I wouldn't say the zone play did, but you got the zone play is not fully complete. You know what I'm saying? The deep zone. So, and I mean, that was admitted before the game came out. But the thing is, you have, like, these are all aspects and elements that we all want done in the game. And we always emphasize on these smaller aspects, while integral, smaller aspects to be refined and worked on and fine-tuned time and time again. See what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just saying, like, yeah, it may be small, but this is big though to us. As far as our community, these are huge things to us. While to many others it'll look like, it's just a small thing they did. And then on the grand scale of things, it'll look like a small deal. Just like I'll say about 2K real fast. NBA 2K, all that fundamental goodness that's in there is completely overshadowed because people want to go to the park and make 7-foot to players with all kinds of badges and stuff shooting threes all day and getting green. You see what I'm saying? They just want that. That's what they care about. Is that what animation package can I unlock? What's the best crossover to use? What's the best shot form to utilize? And that's all that they're worried about. See what I'm saying? So it makes a difference. You know what I mean? Like, those are things that people on all scales will look at and say, man, that's big. But to us, we're worried about offensive and defensive sets, being able to play man-on-man defense. Like, the more integral things that matter to basketball as a whole, that many are going to overshadow. See what I'm saying? So, but I'll throw it to you, AZ.
AZ, real quick before you come in, I wanted to hit this point because you might have something to say about this, but as I see some of these guys making points in the chat, I want to mention them so I don't forget. The one guy said, and again, everybody knows this format. I'm not picking on anybody's opinion, nothing like that. I love this stuff because it opens up real dialogue. The one guy said, if they're using Frostbite, it should be no excuse for them to not have defense assignments. And this is the stuff that we try to come back and convey to you guys. But how do you know? What makes you think that Frostbite is the key to that? Or what makes you think that the reason why it's not in the game now is because they're not on Frostbite? That has nothing to do with it. Rex said himself, defensive assignments right now breaks alignment. Let me tell you how that's true. Have y'all ever been playing online and somebody does a no huddle real quick and the play was auto flipped? Have y'all ever noticed sometimes that the alignment is out of whack? It happened to me just a couple days ago, and I was like, oh, that's probably why that's happening. So I can imagine. Now, I don't know why. I have no reason to know why it's broken. That ain't my area. That's engineering. But the fact that the dev said that, he told us that. He told you guys that, man. We tried to get it in there. That we haven't solved that problem yet. It breaks the defensive AI, not alignment, I'm sorry, the AI. They said when they try to do defensive assignments, it breaks the AI. So my point is what I said earlier. We don't even know what Frostbite will do for gameplay. We have no idea. So it's hard to say that. You can't just say there's no excuse when, again, we don't know that. And last thing I'll say, and I'll throw it to AZ, this is what y'all have to always remember. Listen to what the developers are willing to tell you, both Rex and Clint and many others, because A-Dub does it a lot. Any of these other guys y'all have seen me talk to. Specifically, you remember when Rex said, when I interviewed him last year, I said, hey, man, there's a lot of speculation out there, with Patrick Sutherland's call, blah, blah, blah. I tried to get him to say something. Remember what he said? We're not ready to talk about our engine just yet, but regardless of what happens, our design and our, what we're trying to do for the next game is what it is. That's very important. That's telling you a whole lot without saying a lot. That tells you right there that the engine itself might not necessarily influence what the game is capable of doing that next go round. You see what I'm saying? You just have to pay attention to what these guys tell you, man. But what you got on the AZ, man, I know you like the idea just like I do, but what's your thoughts on the subject?
Undersell, over deliver, basically. I'm tired of being sold wolf tickets and changing developers and changing engines, and I'm sick of them. I'm tired of them. And to be realistic, I know this is going to probably take 4 years to probably get it right. And who's to say by that time, we won't be playing PS 7 or whatever,
Right.
and it'll have to be changed again. So that's why I'm getting tired of it. You know what I mean? Because it's a nonstop cycle of ridiculousness, in my opinion. I was getting caught up in a big red machine, so to speak, and just to where we were playing the game and the beta and how it was at launch. If the game played like that throughout the year, I'd almost be there, man. I'd almost be at bliss, with a few tweaks here and there and fixing things that they did not get to, like deep zones and what have you, and defensive assignments. Um, we would almost be there in my eyes, but
Yeah.
I'm not expecting much, honestly, out of Frostbite the first year. I would hope that things like dynamic weather would be able to, be shown in Madden, because I don't think that really affects too much, but I could be wrong. I'm not a programmer or engineer. Dynamic weather might throw a bug in something else, because we always tell people that these systems have to work together. Commentary, graphics, equipment, all that kind of stuff goes in, and everything has to be accounted for. So when they develop it and they put this one big pile together, you never know what's going to break, So hopefully Frostbite kind of alleviates that issue of, them having those issues. But we'll see. I'm not expecting much, and I'm trying not to get my hopes up too high. Honestly, undersell, over deliver. I'm tired of the CGI. Don't give me no more CGI trailers of, Robert Griffin III, or I guess I don't know who they use now, Cam Newton or A-Rod doing something amazing that's not in the game, or, signature animations, but you don't have signature animations, or LaShawn McCoy or something, but you have it in the commercial because it's CGI. Like, undersell, over deliver. Honestly, I mean, if that was my team, and that's what we were up against, and with us having our ears to the ground, when I go down there, that's what I would tell them: undersell, over deliver.
Yep. And we have told them that.
Nothing. Yeah, I mean, of course we've told them that, but with them, going to Frostbite and people know what to expect from Frostbite, I think, like you said, some people are going to be like, oh, it's no excuse. You got the Frostbite engine now. This should be further along than this, and I'm getting tired of this. It's going to be an uproar of, a groundswell of disapproval. And that's going to happen just with anything that you do. But to me, that would be my motto. I'd be tired of it. Undersell, over deliver. And that would be the end of it. Let's not just go up there and beat our chests. Let's get to work and show them. Not even, because I'm not really concerned with back of the box stuff. Well, I ain't gonna say that. The back of the box stuff, to me, like tackle battles, that kind of stuff would concern me. If you're going for stuff to go up to the casual crowd, but what is the little things that you're going to do, the details, attention to detail, dynamic weather, players on the sideline. Like, they don't even have the real player models. Like, you'll see Le'Veon Bell goes out the game and you throw a touchdown to Antonio Brown. You see Le'Veon Bell on the sideline. He don't have Bell on the back of his jersey. And he's not the right player model. Like, we are on PS4, right? So,
Right.
Stuff like that. That detail, that breaks away from the immersion. You could be having a good game, enjoying your experience, and you see something, you're like, why is that like that? You know what I mean? And, I guess you could say that's minuscule and nitpicking, but anything that breaks you away from, look at the nephew right there. Anything that breaks, that's Smitty. I'm sorry, niece. I thought that was Sim for a second. Anything that breaks you away from what you're doing just kind of messes it up. You know what I mean? Like like Smitty said, NBA 2K. You can be like, man, this game's so good. Then you turn it on, you go on the park and be like, why is everybody 7 foot tall? Why is everybody dribbling like Kyrie? You know, and it's a different experience. So to me, you got to have pros and cons of everything. And until people figure that out, that's something that we told them with NBA Live. I guess I can share that since it was NBA Live 16, that it needed to be different player types, and the player types needed to have pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages to having that type player. Like, we didn't want to see a 7 foot Shaquille O'Neal handling the ball out there like he was Kyrie Irving or Steph Curry. But, you know, you get in 2K, 2K allow you to do that kind of stuff, and it's like, we need a competitor. So I hope Live, you know, when it does show up, has got that kind of issue fixed and offers a different value to the market. But I mean to get away from Frostbite or whatever, but undersell, over deliver. That's the tagline for me for Madden 18, because you have people upset anyway, as it is. So don't even really say nothing about it. Just come out and hit people in the mouth with it. Honestly, you know, take that that lunch pail attitude to it and be like, we're not even gonna say nothing this year. We're gonna let our product speak for itself. And so when it comes to them developing and working, you know, of course, marketing is gonna want something that they can put out and have Antonio Brown do songs too, and Von Miller and all this other crap that they do. But what really matters is the game. So, you know, like I said, hopefully they've been at the grindstone with it, and they come with some stuff that, like, we was feeling how we felt about the beta and how the game had launched. Hopefully we feel that way the entire year next year. So
Yeah, man. And before we, you know, ease to the next topic, I wanted to comment on something real quick, because this is important too. It's two things I want to point out. Azure said, now remember, AzureEffect was the first one to go down to EA. And then shortly after, Smitty and I came, and the next thing you know, the Sim Standard is a part of the Game Changer program. But remember when Azure said, we're going to really start seeing who the real nitpickers are. This was way back Madden 13. What did he also say? It's going to take them some time, man, but the game is coming around. I'm going to just leave it there. So Smitty and I went, what did we come back and say? Now, the reason why that's important, because y'all remember before we got there, y'all remember, I mean, I literally verbatim used to say, man, there ain't no reason why they can't do this. That used to be my biggest thing, right? Now, of course, at one time, the popular commentary was, oh, that's just because they paid y'all to shut up. Really? Let's think about that for a second. Little old SimCritic at the time that had, what, 6,000 subscribers? They paying me to shut up? Me. And Smitty and Azure and everybody else that was in the Sim Standard at the time, which has, I mean, as far as subs, I mean, let's just think about a guy like Angry Joe that will rip Madden when he wants to. Why wouldn't they shut him up? So my point is, that was always hilarious to me, like that we were that powerful. Oh, the big almighty Sim Standard. No. Now, we did.
People out there who ask,
oh yeah,
what game is this, when they look at All Pro Football 2K8. So, but
right,
we the all powerful Sim Standard. We can shut down a million dollars.
Shut down anything.
But you have people out there who, you know, shout out to Apex. Apex is an optimist when it comes to that. You know, he would say, oh, it only takes a few, and you know, the consumers. I mean, and true enough, the consumer does have the power and all that kind of stuff. But trust me, they wasn't paying us to be quiet about it. And we wasn't quiet. And till this day, we still
ain't quiet. Still get on.
So I mean, because first of all, they call us 2K Standard. So how can we be 2K Standard and EA Standard?
Oh yeah,
so that right there tells you that right there alone tells you what we unbiased, because we play Backbreaker, 2K, and Madden. So all that argument, shut up. EA ain't pay us to do nothing. And if they have, I haven't seen the check.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you right now, to be honest with you, y'all want me to be 100? Let me tell you something. I'm one of the realest people you will ever meet. I guarantee you that, because that's just me. That's my nature. But let's just suppose EA Sports was gonna pay me $300,000 a year to campaign for them. Guess who would be doing it? You know why? Because this is video game stuff is not real. Like, I don't have to be the realest guy on YouTube. Let's just be honest for a second. Y'all know ain't no whole lot of other people gonna kick the real to y'all like we do. I ain't gonna just keep saying like we do. We got families to feed and things like that. I don't have to keep it real with YouTube. If somebody was paying me $300,000 plus, now don't get me wrong, I'm not the type of person that I don't do everything for money. I don't. You know, quick story, y'all guys, some of y'all guys know I used to do music heavy. You know, I had opportunities to be signed with a lot of labels, Def Jam and all that, but I won't feel in it. I won't doing it just for the money. I'm not no popcorn rapper. You know what I mean? I consider myself an MC, real raps. I can't do all of this juju on the beat. That ain't for me. At that time, that's where the game was going. I was like, nah, I'm good on that. Because I'm a hip-hop head, real lyrics. I won't go sell myself out for the money. And I could have made money. I could have ghost run for people. But I just want my style. Can't do that. It's the same thing here. Like, I'm not going to do anything for money. But if all they need me to do is talk about how their game, think about what we do now. I'm not talking about, you know, dancing and parading for EA. If they paid me to do what I do right now, which is have a show on, you know, we do Sim Standard Radio, and we go to EA Play when we every now and then, and we still get on them and give them critical feedback. Yeah, I'll take that check because I ain't compromising nothing. That's the thing. It'd be different if y'all seen me out here and all I said was EA is the best, Madden is the best. We never do that. So what are they really paying us to do? Because we still give them crap.
We wouldn't say nothing negative. The show would be sponsored by EA. We would have commercials. You know,
I'm just saying.
You know, you'd be like, we'll be back. Sim Standard Radio. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. Brought to you by EA Sports.
I'm just saying, bro.
Roll it. Some little advertisement, and we ain't never done none of that. We still have problems with the game. We still vocal about it, and that's how it is, man. We haven't changed ever since we started putting out videos. So
I'm just saying, bro. So I know we got off a little bit, but the reason why I said that was to say this. When we came back and our stance started to seem like it was changing, is because we were informed. And the theme has been us saying it's going to take time. And we keep telling y'all it's because we know stuff, man. Like, wow. We have been told, literally been told stuff. Yeah, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that, but we probably won't get to it until da-da-da-da. Remember that time Smitty and Azure when we was talking to our boy? Y'all know who I'm talking about, Mr. AW. And remember, he was kind of joking, but he was like, that's he said, man, that's probably like Madden 20. What? And we was like, Madden 20? He said, no, I'm playing. He said, but let me explain to you why. And when he started going through all of this stuff, I was like, wow, okay, I see what you're saying. Again, like I said, with the reach tackles, me and Azure was campaigning, yo, just let's keep the illusion in there where it looks like they're reaching. And then we got broke down because then they was telling us, well, you know what we really want? We want them to be able to grab and physics and all of that weight and, you know, his relative position to the grab and all of that determining who. Then we was like, wow, okay. Well, I won't ask for that ever again until y'all ready to put it in there because it sounds like a lot of work. So I don't know, man. That's my 2 cents. And yeah, go ahead, Smitty. And then after that, we get Matt on in here after Smitty.
Yeah, let me make a point here. Like when we see in here, especially when I see in here at times, people post comments saying, you know, like, man, I'm only X amount of years old. I only got so many years. How long is it gonna take? That's what you gotta think about.
Don't wait on no video game, first of all. That's my first advice.
Well, it's not even that. It's not even that. it really comes down to the more realistic you want a game to be, the more time it's going to take for it to get there. That's just the reality of it. More arcade. That's why you got games like Blitz that are out right now, and they play the way they play. They're simple. They're not. There aren't all these intricate, all these intricacies and all these delicate aspects that you can tune and tweak and adjust and all that stuff. And then you have all these intricate details that are in just the general core of the game. You don't have all that. Madden does. And there's a lot more that we're all saying needs to be there. So it's going to take time for that stuff to happen. You don't have to like it, but it's going to take time. That's why I've said, like, what Sim says is exactly what I've said multiple times. The devs want the game to be there that we want it to be. Whether it's reach tackling, all that good stuff that you want, that's cool. But the bottom line is, it's going to take time. That's it. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but like in respect of how you feel, it's going to take time in the midst of all that frustration in your wait period. It's going to take time for this stuff to get there. That whether we like it or not, that's what it's going to be. And then see, when people say that they want 2 separate games, now you're saying even more time to do that. See, so you're tacking on time. You might as well add another 2, 3, 4 more years if you're going to do all that. My thing is, do it all in one game, appease all audiences, and have the options, have robust options, like when we bring up MLB The Show and we talk about all the options that are in that game. But this goes back to the main point that I made a long time ago when people reference 2K5 all the time. They had at least 7 years of consistent lead core development on that game. Even though that's a different generation of console gaming, they still had that consistency there. Rex hasn't been there for 7, 8 years and had the same exact team around him building this game. It's not the same. That's just like you look at the Patriots. You look at teams like the Patriots. You look at teams like the Steelers and how they've been able to keep that same consistency as far as the base of their play style in terms of how their team competes and how they build their team up. Look at Belichick. I mean, yeah, you got the cheating stuff and all that or whatever they did, but the bottom line is, outside of that, it took them some time. It took him time to build up to be that coach, and it took him time to build up that Patriots franchise to be the prestigious team that they are. That you have players come in that on other teams they're not doing as well. But then as soon as they come to New England, now they balling. You see what I'm saying? It's something that they're doing on their team, and it takes them time to build that up to get to that point. And then when pieces fall into place, you just continuously, it falls in place with what's already built, and they just keep building. That's the whole point. Rex hasn't been there long enough to, and these guys have not been there long enough to just say, oh man, they should just have it by now, or bet now that Frostbite's happening, they should just have it. No, it's still going to take them time, along with their development game plan and everything. It's going to take them time to get the game there.
Stop it, Smitty.
That's the point.
You're being an EA apologist. Stop it, Smitty.
Smitty got his check. Yeah, I ain't get mine yet. That's why I ain't drinking out my EA cup tonight, because I ain't get paid this week. Nope.
Hey, it's the truth. I know L Baker, you probably don't like it, but hey, that's just the reality. I mean, all you got to do is look at the time. All you got to do is look at the time that's actually passed and look what's transpired. You can laugh at it all you want, but hey, the reality speaks for itself. So,
this too, man, and Matt, I want you to come in right after me, but this was my other point. I promise y'all real quick. Just to reply to L Baker, like I said, when we do these shows, man, this is not call outs. This is dialogue. Nobody's angry, nothing like that.
Oh yeah.
But I asked you earlier, you were saying that they just gotta blow me away. So I asked a legitimate question. I said, well, what does that look like? Because everybody's opinion is different. I say, what would Madden need to blow you away? Your reply was Battlefield 1, COD 4, some couple other games, and you was like, etc. And I was like, so please, because I asked you to define what that means, and you just gave me the example of other games. That's not telling me nothing. And another guy in here, and I thanked him for it, he said, well, for me, man, it's like player movement and stuff. Those are actual things. And this is the stuff that we have said. So if you really think about it, if EA gets the player movement right, the physicality right, all across the field, things like that, let's be honest. There's not a lot left to make you feel like this game is legit. Most of us in this chat thought Madden 17 at launch was like, whoa, okay, now we can start adding those intricate things. We were just there. So now we can start talking about physicality, trenches, all that kind of jazz. But what I'm saying is, I keep saying this. Trenches, like physical play, physical matters, physical stature, all of that really making a difference in DB and wider interactions, trenches, etc. Player movement is legit. You get your dynamic weather, and then you are able to then throw in some individuality. What else we got? You see what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying is the game ain't that far away. It's just that the holes that the game has in it right now is still plagues it. But again, some of y'all can't even say what's going to make you blow you away. So how can I even go off of that opinion when you're not giving me any example? But sorry to keep you waiting, my man. Happy to have you in, man. Whatever you got for us. He's coming, y'all. Takes a while to unmute for whatever reason. Yeah, there you go. We got you.
There you go.
Oh, he's muted again. And while we wait on him, Google Hangouts. I hope somebody sees this. There you go. But and stay on. Don't mute yourself. I'm just giving a message to Google Hangout. Y'all got to get us some better controls with this mute stuff, because I can't unmute them. Every time somebody comes in, they can't. We needed to be faster, people. Come on, Google Hangouts. Hook us up. But yeah, go ahead, man.
Hey, appreciate y'all having me on. I wanted to come in here last week, man, but I got busy because I know you guys were talking about player ratings improvements and whatever. And I wanted to know how y'all would feel if they implemented the 2K player ratings. Because the way 2K has it set up in their My League is depending on how they train and how they play, it either goes up or it goes down. Like, I don't really like the way Madden has their player rating set up with like numbers and you get experience points and they just go up like weekly. Like, to me, that's not realistic. Or Sim, like the way they should be set up is like depending how they interact with the training, lets their player rating go up or down. So that gives you a better reason to keep that player or trade that player or whatever, or release them. And, you know, they can do that for like wide receivers and things like that. So you have like short pass, medium pass, deep route pass, and like depending on like how often they catch deep routes or short routes increases, and it decreases if, like, say they don't have a good week. That affects their confidence and the morality, like things like that. Same thing with offensive line and DBs, you know, the whole thing, as opposed to just player like numbers and stuff like that. I just wanted y'all thoughts on that. And then I know y'all was talking about Melo earlier. Like, Melo's my favorite player, but him going to the Cavs, I think LeBron is just trying to get all his friends, the way they say it, like Stephen A. Smith, get all, or Shannon Sharp and them, get all his favorite players on one team, and build a team around that. Like, to me, like, and I have an issue with Durant going over to the Golden State, because to me, he just wants the easy way to the title. Yeah, you know, he looks at his career and like, okay, I'm not gonna get it because LeBron is my kryptonite, and he complains that he can't play with Westbrook and this, that, and the other and the fourth. He could have went to Washington, where their team was already set. He already had a point guard. He already had a shooting guard. They just needed that extra superstar to get that team where he was going, but he didn't want to go back home for whatever reasons why. Trying to think what else. Now, with the whole Frostbite with Madden, I'm I kind of get some. I'm older now to the point, so I don't get hyped about games and stuff like that. Like I'm big fanatic about cell phones, but I can't get hyped about I can't get hyped about cell phones because every year they slightly increase it. They may add like, oh, add this to it, but then the next year after that they added that one. Like, why didn't you just add it in last year's? Like I have a Samsung. Like at work, I debate with people all the time about Samsungs and iPhones. iPhones are all right, but there's things you can't do on an iPhone that you can do on a Samsung or Android.
Absolutely.
So, I know, and you guys, we really don't talk about 2K too much. I know you guys talk about Madden a lot, but I've been playing 2K since the last patch or update or whatever like that, and I personally like it. Like, I don't know what you guys have an issue with 2K but to me, it feels a lot better and it plays a lot better. I haven't played Madden in a while because I play without the tuners and all the updates. And in my league, I do 32 interceptions. I'm like tip passes and everything else going on. So I don't know. It's frustrating. I'm looking for Madden to do some upgrades, but I'm not going to get hyped about the game anymore. Every time I watch you guys play it or whatever, like I'm like, that looks nice, but I actually want to like play it for myself before I give my opinion on or take everybody else's opinion on the game.
And you say you're playing without the sliders. I mean, without the tuners and patches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, telling you, it's a world of a difference when you play without all that on. It plays a lot better. Even on Madden feels a whole lot better. Even though you still got the foolery that happens in there, but it's not nearly as much as it is now.
Yeah, like
with
I said,
all the patches and stuff.
Yeah, I played it when they had the tuners, and then when I found out you could take the tuners off and play it the way the game came out, because I barely played it out at release, at launch. Because as soon as I did, I was thrown into a connected franchise, and I had to deal with all the tuners. I left the franchise and just started playing offline without it. After you guys said that you can take the tuners off, and I actually liked it a lot better. But like I say, it still had the tomfoolery on all. I played all Madden with the default sliders. I don't change the sliders to anything because I play it default. And I threw 32 picks, wide receivers didn't. A bunch of crazy stuff like that. I was like, man, I can't even play this game anymore with 32 picks. I mean, that's crazy. Like, you can't 32 picks in one season. Like, you got to be 32 picks and like 35 touchdowns. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But that's all. I just wanted y'all thoughts on how y'all felt about 2K implementing that, or Madden implementing that 2K alphabet rating as opposed to overall 95 and things like that, and the effects more of doing training where they had. I know y'all don't really talk about 2K5, but I did like 2K5's weekly schedule. How you did it?
Yes.
I was young.
Still the king of franchise.
I was young when I was young when I played that. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, what is this? Weekly. I just wanted to go play into the game. But as I learned that, you have full pads, no pads, this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? So I started to understand it. And I would like Madden to implement something like that. I know they can't go in depth because it's all legal rights and stuff like that, but get something closer to that. To where
you know what they could do? They could take head coach 09 and put it in Madden. Okay. They had it all. Just like 2K5.
I didn't play head coach. So I didn't know if they had that feature or not.
Head coach was like a football manager. That thing was serious.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. See, yeah, they just take that, put that in connected franchise. I think we'd be good for the most part. I don't know about everybody else, but I think I'd be solid. Give me that control where I can watch films, no pads, and like you said, add in fatigue where particular person's like fatigue, like in 2K. Yes. If a person's fatigued and sluggish, I'm not going to practice him because I need him to be ready for the next day. So I give him a day off, let everybody else go through, or he can just watch films on the days that he's sluggish.
The unfortunate thing with the head coach is that's Josh Lumen's baby. And we know that he's not with CFM anymore, primarily. So, it's John White, but that's Josh Lumen's software. And if I remember right, he has that license, correct?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure on the license, but that sounds familiar to me. So it might be the case.
Yeah. So, I mean, if that would be like retreading and going back down the first CFM road, because honestly, Lumen was brought in to get CFM rolling how it is now. So I don't know, man. It's just that's the kind of stuff that the public don't really have intel about, that we kind of, let you peek behind the curtain and know, but it ain't as easy as it seems. It's like we tell y'all.
Yeah, see, that's one of them pieces of information right there. See, that's the thing the public don't know. Who would have knew that? See? So it's not all, like Azure said, it's not always what people think. A lot of things are going on, and generally we gonna tell y'all when we got the opportunity. We gonna try to let y'all peek behind it. You're like y'all in there with us. And yeah, man, I see that and it's already 9:47, guys. So we're gonna try to speed through these last few segments. We'll actually answer Matt's question in this next segment here. So Smitty, I'm gonna be brief. We'll mix his question in with the topic that we have in regards to sliders and ratings. We'll try to be as brief as we can, guys. We don't want to go too far beyond 10. And then we'll try to briefly talk on Montana, and then, real briefly, the Super Bowl predictions. But really nothing to talk about on Montana, so I'm sure that's going to be real quick. But real quick, with the sliders, I agree with what my man just said. EA needs to do basically what 2K is doing right now, which the funny thing is, and I think the fellas will agree with me, EA already has the system. They have the ideas in place. They just need to flush it out. Now, as far as the grades, that's a change that they could do, but you see it in scouting. So we have grades there, right? Now, build on your idea of the dynamic player performance that you once had, right? But then also traits. That's the key right there. Those are your badges. Build more traits, like you said, individual type of traits for a corner. I want to always use this comparison because it's easy for most of us to understand that even if you're not that knowledgeable about football, you understand that you see Darrell Reeves plays different than Patrick Peterson. Patrick Peterson plays different than Richard Sherman. And Richard Sherman plays much different than Artie Burns, who's a rookie. You see what I'm saying? We need those intricate traits. Who, this guy's good at, he can play slot real well. Perfect fit for a slot corner. This guy's a perfect press corner. This guy, he's going to press you no matter what, whether he's in man or in zone. That's just how he plays. This guy is susceptible to the deep ball. This guy is susceptible to double moves. We need all of those traits. And imagine applying that across the board for linemen, receivers, running everybody. That's it. You have the structures there, build upon it. And in MUT, you have a few more things than you have in the regular game. So you have the idea, build upon that. That's your bad system right there. Give us hundreds of traits. Now, in reference to the sliders real quick, then I'll throw it to Smitty. All I wanted to basically talk about, guys, is the fact that sliders need to, this is my idea, and this will make sense to everybody, hopefully. I want a slider to be effort. Let me explain what I'm saying. If I turn pass blocking to 100, I'm telling my pass blockers or my linemen, I don't care what the case is. You do what you can. You do what you can to keep the quarterback clean. If I got it up to 100, they're going to be trying to block, like their life is on the line. They get beat, they chasing the guy. They get beat too bad, they might grab and hold him because they don't want the quarterback to get killed. They'll take the 15. But if he is still not that great of a player based on his ratings and traits, he still can get beat. Regardless of the fact that it's on 100, we're not going to get that Stonewall effect because the sliders, to me, negates ratings. That has to go. And that's something I've been preaching. I'm going to keep preaching it this year and however long it takes. Because let me give you all a perfect example. Again, I like to say this laughingly because I just did it because some people asked me to do this. If you want to waste 2 hours of your time, go look at the full game I put up of the Super Bowl simulation. There's a point in the game, I think it's around the second quarter. you're going to see a drive. It's like a 15, 16 play drive. The Atlanta Falcons got called for offsides. Oh, well, false start like 6 times in that one drive. 3 of them, I believe, were back-to-back. And the commentators, it was so much, the commentators ended up repeating lines. Oh, he moves again for the 2nd time. It was actually the 4th time. Then the defense jumped off sides. You know why? Because I had penalty sliders in there. And I'm talking about false start being like on 52. That's ridiculous. It shouldn't be that much of a change putting it on 52. They jump. You see what I'm saying? It still needs to be, if I turn it up to 100, again, we talk about effort. Now, how some people say, well, how could that be effort if you're turning it up for false start? Well, here's the effort. If I turn it up to 100, I'm putting more emphasis on my players to be focused. So if I have a guy with a balanced or a real good penalty trait, he ain't jumping. It don't matter. He ain't going to jump because he's balanced. But another guy that don't have as much focus, now it's harder for him. He might jump a little bit. We all have those players on our teams. This year, it was David DeCastro for the Steelers. He was the guy that was doing all the holding for some strange reason. So if I got, pass blocking, run blocking, whatever, up to 100, he might get more penalties, him, because that's his trait. His trait is unbalanced or undisciplined, as well as his ratings. So now, instead of him trying to have perfect technique to block, he just trying to do what he can, and he just grabbing stuff. That's what sliders need to be. Effort, not dice roll. Y'all don't believe me? Go play all Madden or whatever level, turn everything or turn pass blocking and all that stuff to 100 and tell me how many sacks you get. That's stupid. Same thing with catching. If I put catching up to 100, I want dudes to try to get the ball. Don't mean they're going to catch everything, but I don't want it to be where if it's on 100, then nobody's dropping the ball. Because the main problem we see with this, and Azure I know will love this, interceptions. If you turn it too low, everybody's doing up. You turn it too high, everybody's yoking it, like just grabbing it out of the sky. I mean, you get a nose tackle, Mike, one-handed. Can't be like that. But that's just my quick well, it wasn't quick. I always say that, but that was just my 2 cents on it. What you got, Smitty?
I'll just say this real quick. Looking at what people are posting, like somebody had posted, like while you were talking, Sim, about some of the like traits and things you were saying, and it's interesting because see, I don't play much like that, so it's interesting to see that. Looking at it here, just searching for it, they have a ton of chemistries in MUT. Like a ton. A lot of the stuff that we need in the game is in here. Like, look, you got deep threat, chain mover, bruising back, ankle breaker, route runner, slot expert, zone blocker,
it's
mobile blocker, line pusher. Let's see, what was this? Cover linebacker, lockdown, keep a wide receiver contained, pick specialist, deep defender. Now that's interesting. You got a deep defender chemistry, but then the zones aren't right. But then just think about that. This is part of building it. You have the chemistry, now get the zone play right.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Big hitter. Like, you have all these chemistries in here. So, like, this needs to translate to player traits. And they all have explanations. Deep threat, go up top for a spectacular catch. Bruising back, pound your way to more rushing yards. What's another one here? Inside blitzer, crash your blitz up the middle. Where's the edge setter. Sets the edge and force plays back into the middle. Field general, play the field sideline to sideline. See what I mean? Like, stuff like this is huge. Mobile blocker, pull your linemen and open up holes for rushing. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then just think if you tier that out, and if you do like, silver, gold, silver, bronze, or what have you, you can do those kind of things. And have those kind of badges for your draft picks. Even if you pick somebody that's a late round draft pick, that's the kind of stuff you can do. See what I'm saying? So it's like you need to do that kind of stuff in the game. You need to have those kind of chemistries in the title. Point blank. This is something, and you know what? I think that I wouldn't be surprised to see this be part of the game next year. No, this year's upcoming game, with Madden 18. Because of what's being done right now, and what's being done right now, and seeing how well the chemistry is working, MUT, they can fine tune everything and then move it over to your CFM play, or even play now if they want to.
I suggested that, and I had some people hit me up and say that it was cheesy, that the chemistries were cheesy and MUT. So, I would like to see at least. That's why I said I wanted scheme to matter. Not that if you didn't play to your scheme, that it mattered, but if you actually took time to build a scheme, that it would show up. You know what I mean? Like for guys who actually play to their scheme. Like if I'm a power run team and I go out and get personnel that is for that scheme, that I get a little boost. Not that you don't, if I don't have people, then it's just normal. But if I go out and find people, just like in game plan, you get a little boost for doing your game prep for that week. Excuse my son. He's watching the show. So, you just get a little boost. So I would want the same thing how they do with chemistries, same way in CFM. Maybe, and the templates are there. They just have to find out how to use them so they're not cheesy. Because one of the things that I like the most is the kicker. Honestly, it shows up immediately. I don't know if you all have it, but some guys out there, I have one. If you have the focus kicker, it slows down your meter to where it's like, if no matter what difficulty it is, it's like it's on pro. So you have like a focus kicker, and that shows up. That's something you can overtly see in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they got something like that with tackle battles too. I learned that watching the challenge, where if the guy got a certain trait, it's always the same button.
Okay, see, yeah, now that kind of stuff, yeah, that kind of stuff overtly shows up. Like that's why I think last year we were talking about. People wouldn't be so frustrated with the game if there was some explanation on why things happen. And they try to put some of that text in there, but like. If I'm throwing to Larry Fitzgerald and he's dropping passes, I want to know he's on a cold streak. Otherwise, then it's frustrating to me that this guy has a 98 catch rating, 97 catch in traffic, and he's dropping balls in the back of the end zone. Not to say that it can't happen, but give me some explanation on why it's happening. You know what I'm saying? Just like they used to have that feedback with NCAA. Impact players. The players' things start posting, that player about to make a play, or that kind of stuff. It's little stuff that they could do to kind of help it. But you had that faction out there that I don't want to see nothing in the game. It's cheesy. Don't show me no icons. Don't show me nothing. So you had that faction out there that don't want to see nothing. But and that's fine. Just give us the options to turn it off or not see it. Because it's in there to turn the feedback off. All that kind of stuff needs to be options. Like we always say with MLB The Show, don't take stuff away, keep adding stuff, and give us the option to toggle it off.
Yeah, man. And I just wanted, before we move on to the other topic, I wanted to put something to rest real quick. I just asked a question in the chat, and everything I do is strategic. I just say, how many of you guys bought Madden 17? The reason why I asked that, I wanted to see if some of the guys that were saying that some money, EA is about money. I wanted to see if some of you guys also bought the game, because my point is, why y'all keep buying it? Like, if you really think that they about the money, why are you still supporting them? Is my question. Now, granted, it is the only game. I know that argument, but I'm saying there's certain people. Prime example. I like to use other examples than just gaming. Y'all know I'm a huge hip hop fan. I like real hip hop. I acknowledge people like Drake. When Drake is ready to rap, Drake can rhyme. He's nice. But I ain't always into the other stuff he do. So I don't buy Drake albums. I'm not a Drake fan in that regard because he's not going to give me what I want from an album. Views from the 6, I did not like that album. It was too much all over the place. So I didn't buy it. You see what I'm saying? Because I already know what to expect. So that's my point. For anybody who says that, you could be right. Hey, I don't know what the suits talk about. Well, actually, we do, because you heard the conference call. They definitely talked about money, but this interesting. Yeah. I want to put this to rest too. What were the 2 games they said are the biggest games for EA? I didn't hear Madden.
Didn't hear Madden. FIFA. Said FIFA and Battlefield 1. Right.
So to me, that kills the whole Madden is all about money. Because to me, okay, first as a company, of course they're about money. But also, it sounds like to me, if I was in charge and that was my intention, no. I want to get all 3 of these games to be. They kind of, if you really listen, they kind of dismissed Madden.
Yeah, they did. They didn't mention Madden.
They was dismissed
outside of Madden Mobile. They only mentioned Madden Mobile. They didn't mention Madden on console.
That's your money grab. You hear how much money they say they get from Madden Mobile?
Oh.
So my point is, we have to stop with that argument. Because for one, listen, I'm telling you what I know. And let me try to wrap this up. Mutt is more focused on the differentiating players because it's about these cards. And think about this. They have this content coming out all the time. So that was, that was their focus going from the beginning. You know, when Kobe was there. I mean, we know all of this. Let me tell y'all something else. The chemistry thing, guess what? That was an idea for CFM. Remember we told y'all that? Now he's no longer there. We can say this. We had this conversation 3 years ago. Smitty and Azure were there. And Kobe was telling us the type of things that he wanted to do with CFM would blow y'all's mind. So I'm going to leave that off the table because we may see it again. But I want y'all to listen to us. We're telling you what we know. Like when I'm telling you that is not just like the devs are not focused on that. The devs don't go into it. We're going to just do what? We just go, no. Now you got marketing and all them other people who influence things, obviously. But I'm saying that's not our community. And we have to stop with the, they ain't going to never do this. Why are we here? What are we here for? Like, why are you still involved if that's how you really feel? That don't make no sense to me, man. That's like your homeboy that's always complaining about this chick that he messed with. He can't stand shorty. I can't stand her. But you with her every day, though. Man, why don't you just let her go? It's the same thing. So what I'm saying is the whole notion that they're never going to do none of this stuff. And somebody asked earlier about CFM, what you think it will fall? They can't afford to not improve or not maintain CFM. Every other game that's winning has a franchise mode. Everyone, even the biggest money cow for them, FIFA. Oh, Journey 2 is coming. So do you think they can afford to not do nothing to CFM and Madden or just let Mutt take it away? So it's going to end up just being play now, online rank and Mutt. That ain't going to thank people. It's not going to happen.
And just to piggyback off that real quick, PX1, and for those that didn't hear the interview, Rex has said that the percentage of people playing CFM this year has spiked up drastically this year.
Exactly.
So it's not falling off. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, what people need to do is give ideas like what my man gave us. What's my man's name? What Rohan pointed out. Somebody put up a very nice, very detailed idea for CFM. Stuff like that is what we need to press these guys, because we're gonna complain. We can complain about Mutt all day, but we need to tell them what CFM needs. I'm not saying people aren't. Don't get me wrong, but we need to give some detailed ideas and concepts and feed that to them.
Yeah.
Give
Stop
them
worrying
some
about
structure
that.
then, like, because I mean, yeah, of course they're the designers and it's their job, but we're the consumer. They're trying to give us something as the end user. If we, the end user, don't like what they're giving, then we need to give some suggestions. There's nothing wrong with that because that's how they're going off of our input. At the end of the day. So that's why the devs encourage it because at the end of the day, they're employees. Just like what a lot of people found out about NBA Live. The devs are employees. They're not the ones that say, "Hey, we're gonna push this game back." No, they're
Right.
employees. That's why they encourage the public because they're like, "Look, guys, push, help us out, make that push and speak on it." And that's going to help us in turn. So that's what I'm saying. Definitely, it's always encouraged to bring that up. John White on Twitter, get at him. Let him know about these things, man. We say our thing in our, when we talk to them and everything, but let them know yourselves too. They're online. Go ahead and let them know. So that's the great thing I like about those guys being available like that is that they're accessible. They're making themselves accessible to us. So take full advantage of that because they don't have to. They just do what they want, but they're taking that time out to see what we have to say. So by all means, keep doing it no matter what. Just keep it. I strongly encourage you to just keep doing that.
Yep. And another thing, man, y'all know every now and then I try to just keep it funky with y'all, keep it real. At the end of the day, I don't have time to complain about the obvious. Let me state to y'all what the obvious is. What game modes does this Madden Bowl and Madden Challenge and all that play on? I'm waiting for them to answer me, Smitty. So is it beyond comprehension to think that MUT and all of this, all of a sudden the last couple of years start getting a lot of attention because the game was going to esports? That's just business 101. We know that. We ain't no suckers. We understand that. That's why. Why do you think people like Shop and them created this CFM movement? Because now we like, all right, we see what you're doing. I see you, dog. I see what you're doing, but I need you to take care of this too. That's really where we at. Like, why are we getting mad at the obvious? Is what I'm saying. Like, why are you wasting your time? Man, that's because they don't care. Bruh, everybody in the world knows that MUT takes precedent, and I'm not going to say precedent, but it's a heavy focus. Same way with FUT, same way with NBA 2K's My Player and all. It's this every game, pretty much.
Right, every game, yeah.
I mean, why are you mad at the obvious? That don't make sense to me. So what our position should be is making sure where we play is taken care of as well. And I'm sorry, I just don't share the same
money. If CFM was monetized, it'd be a whole different story.
Whole different story.
You know what else?
Without,
if CFM was monetized, it'd be a different story.
You know what else, AZ? I'm gonna say this right now. I guarantee you, let them do that, and you watch how many people will stop playing that because they don't want to pay for CFM. So it's the same. It's the same argument. I'm just saying this. Let's just stick to what we want and be that voice and make sure what we want doesn't get left behind, because it ain't nothing we can do about money. It ain't nothing we can do about thinking that that's the focus of the suits. I'm pretty sure it is because of the way they talk about that money on that call. So come on, man. Listen, we need to be a different type of movement. Stick to what we know. All of that, because I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna drop some quick knowledge. The devs see this stuff. They see a lot of times they watch this show. They see the people out there saying they don't care about nothing. And guess what they do with your thoughts? You ain't important no more. And trust me, I'm not telling you don't speak your mind. I'm just saying, put yourself in those shoes. You make a product, shoes, whatever it is. And you do it. This is what you do. And all you hear me say is, man, he don't care about them shoes. Terrible. He don't care about nothing. He ain't never gonna give me no air bubble. Eventually, what you gonna do to SimFBallCritic? Man, I'm tired of listening to him. He's just so negative. He don't give me no feedback. He's just negative. Every one of y'all, including me, would do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, man, let's continue to push the movement for sim and the things that we want in our mode. Stop worrying about what's going on over there and stop with the rhetoric. They don't care. Oh, that's because I'm telling you, because we can say that argument about every single product, NBA 2K being one of them. Now, I will say this, 2K does have a robust franchise mode, no doubt about it. But they bought the brand too. Come on now. What you think my career is? They snuck that on you real easy too. Because at first it was, oh, let's create my player and I'm balling. Then they say, oh, you want him to get better?
DC in there.
Yeah. You want him to get better? Give me some money.
Yeah.
Give me some money. He could be the best player on the court. Come on.
Every one of these companies is a business trying to make money. And nobody going to work saying, let's make the world a better place today, guys. Nope. They're saying, how can we get that bread?
Exactly.
And I would be doing the same thing. Let me tell you that.
If you in business to get money, hey, that's what you have to do every day, because although you have creative minds and developers who want to create something special and do all that, they have somebody to answer to, and they answer to somebody, and they answer to somebody. So
right.
when it boils down to, the people at the very top want to know, what is this stock growing? Can I give my kids some of this? Or is this something that I need to sell and get rid of? No, boss. We coming up. We got the mutt. We're going to sell Vic. He's going to sell $1.5 million this month.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's the real. We shouldn't even have to say that. That's life. That's how it goes. But what we're the voice of reasoning. So as many people that keep saying, man, do you think they're going to, if you let them do it. We need everybody. We need to be a collection of people that make sure that we doing like this. Hey, I'm still here. Hey, I'm still here. And being this has got us these features over the last 3 or 4 years that we all wanted, and gonna get us more.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I've been in the room with some tourney guys. Some, not all. Because let me drop this on y'all real quick. A lot of them guys who are tourney ballers, well, I can't say a lot, but a good amount of them that I know, they want real football too. That's the misconception. Them boys just do what they got to do to win. It has nothing to do with football, because I see people say this about them all the time. And I want to say this real quick too. I don't like when our community is a negative representation. Let me explain what I mean. You look in the chats and you see people just want to beat these people. Oh, these dudes don't know nothing about football. Let me tell you something. A lot of them dudes do know football. Why do you think they know there's certain reads that they make and they know what's going to happen? They know football. They might not be brainiac in football, but they know what they're doing. I'm telling you, I've talked to some of the best guys. When it Gibbs and Falls back in the day, which would probably spank a lot of people even playing a sim style, because Gibbs and them know the coverages and all of that. Trust me. But what I'm saying is, they was like, listen, the game shouldn't let me do that. I agree. So I don't watch those tournaments in a sim Nazi mode. I don't do that, because why am I looking at that expecting these guys? Why am I disrespecting them? They have an opportunity to play for these stacks, racks, dude. You think they're not going to pull out all the stops? Why not? It's a video game. They don't care about all of that. But I guarantee you, once the game is official,
if it's for we all running the same play every time if it works.
You daggone right.
Mm-hmm.
And I might even tell you, I might scream, I might take my headphones off and be like, hey, I'm running that fullback dive. Bruh. But I guarantee you this. Say the game gets all the way there and there's some real football going on. Some of them dudes still going to be there because they're going to die. And some of us might be there. See, the only reason why I don't feel like I could play on that level, I don't know. I don't study the game and find all the exploits from AI standpoint. I just don't. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I watched some of them games. Listen, if any of you guys see this, no disrespect, but I don't even think all them dudes that good. A lot of dudes do some ridiculous stuff, miss a lot of people, and I'm like, man, you take this little component away, I probably could beat him. And I'm not saying that from a hater standpoint. Some of those dudes ain't that good. I'm sorry. But some of them can play. Trust me. Some of them can play. Because I'm telling you right now, Gibbs will give you a whole bunch of y'all to run for your money. I'm going to tell you right now. But, and RG. RG will wax a whole lot of dudes. Trust me. And he don't even play cheesy like that. He just was a competitive guy. So, we got to stop that, man. I told you, I want our movement to be the guys that's making everything go forward. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. That ain't in our control. Let's worry about the stuff we want in the game and keep fighting to get it. But moving on, man, it's already 10:16. We're going to try to get this thing wrapped up. Last thing I guess we'll cover real quick. Guys, did you see Joe Montana? Assuming I'm literally going, this is probably going to be 30 seconds for me.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming that was legit footage. I don't know. I didn't check sources. Virtual reality, bro. Really? Really? After all of that, AzureEffect told you on the call when you was on the show with us. Listen, man, you know, Azure said these exact words. I'm assuming since you talking to us, you know what we're expecting, meaning this crowd. Bruh, come on, bruh. That's the Madden killer. Okay. All right. That's all I got to say. Yeah, if you haven't seen the footage, I don't even know how to find it. Somebody send it to me. I'm sure you can search it. Bruh. It looked like a Connect game.
It didn't even look like Connect.
Come on, bro. Come on, buddy. What you got, Smitty?
No, it looked like one of the Tiger LCD games from back in the 90s, for those that know about them boys. That's what it really looked like. That joint right there was so bad. I mean, dude threw the pass and his arm ain't move. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, that's terrible. Terrible. And like when I was chatting with other people about it, I'm like, I think that Montana pulled all the way out. He pulled an Ocean's 11, like, you know, the pics you saw him in the studio with the mocap suit and all that. I think Damon showing up to the studio, like after he saw a prototype, I think Damon came to the studio one day and that whole entire thing was just cleaned out. That studio was empty. Like,
you see what DJ said? DJ said pole position had the grass.
Yes, I'm saying.
Oh my God.
It's true. It's true, man.
That was my game too, by the way. Pole position was my joint. Some of the young boys don't know nothing about that.
Nah.
Oh wow.
That's but that's what I'm saying, man. It was, man, oh my goodness. Like he shot a move on him because that sucker was, oh my gosh. Like he must have just paid for the name Montana to put it on that thing. And he said, look, Montana, like, look, my legacy is solidified. I don't care what you do with this game. I got my check. Go ahead and do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here, man. Ain't messing with that. That's a joke, dude. I'll throw it to AZ if you got anything on that.
Do you hear the crickets? I didn't think it was real, man. Honestly,
I thought it was a spoof.
Somebody had. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, because I think Damon Grown had all the best intentions in the world. What was that? What was that? I think that was probably an early prototype that he said, you know what, I'm not going to get all the way where I want to be, so I'm just going to put this out right here and see if people can rock with that, because that would have been on console. And who did the voiceover?
Oh my Lord.
Who was like, but go.
Hey.
Hot.
Exactly.
Hot. Hurry up, offense. Hot.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna have to look at it again. I ain't even hear that. Listen, I watched
Listen to
10
the boy.
seconds of it and was like, "Come on, buddy." I cut it off. I didn't need to see nothing else. Wow. Matter of fact, y'all know what? Where's that footage that we saw at E3? Remember the little footage, the little trailer they had for the game? That looked a whole lot better than.
He scrapped that joint
Yeah.
and just put out whatever he had.
Well, yeah, guys. Whip to do. I mean, I have nothing to say. Just to let you guys know, we're gonna run a tad bit longer, man. I mean, that's the benefit of being on Hangout. I forgot. I apologize to my man. I said I was gonna get him on the show. I just sent him another invite, so we're gonna close the show out with that. While we wait for him to come in, we might as well kill this real quick. We'll give our quick Super Bowl predictions. It's hard for me to say. I'm gonna go Falcons. I'm gonna go Falcons mainly because I want them to win. They've never gotten a championship. I'm not a Patriots hater, but I am kind of tired of the Patriots. But I can't hate them because it reminds me of the San Antonio Spurs. You can't really hate a consistent team. I mean, listen, hate them or love them, whether you thought they cheated or whatever. Listen, the things that they did outside of Spygate, the things of that they've done is not the reason why they're so good. Come on, you got to give them the credit. Bill Belichick, great coach. Tom Brady's Tom Brady. But I want Atlanta to win, so I'm gonna go with my heart and not my head. Primarily because, like I said, I think they deserve it and they're hungry. They're young. I think they might have an edge coming in this game. They know they're the underdog. I think if they keep the Patriots off the field, if their offense can score with the Patriots, which they should, if they can get anything from the defense, a stop here, a stop there, they have a chance. If they put up an effort like what the Steelers did against the Patriots, bye-bye. Y'all gonna lose. If your defense ain't no better than that, I hate to talk about my boys, but it is what it is. And listen, let me say this too before I throw it to Smitty. I was so glad watching First Take today that I heard Max Kellerman say what I've been saying all along. It does not going to matter whether zone or man. Tom Brady is still going to beat you. That's what he did to the Steelers. Steeler fans who are watching, because everybody watching that game, people that I talk closely to, man, we need to come out of that zone. Man, we need to stop running zone. I agree we need to shake it up a little bit. The Steelers is not a man team, first of all. Number two, they did play some man in that game, and Brady still destroyed them. But knowing the personnel that we had, I'm sure they thought that was the best chance. What really killed us is we didn't get no pressure. That's why you run zone a lot with teams like that. You're assuming it's going to give you a little extra time. If the pass rushers get there, it gives the DB, it gives the pass rushers a little extra time when you run zone. You run man and you don't get no pressure, it's going to beat you. Or if you try to blitz out a man. So you just can't do that with everybody. Tom Brady is going to be able to destroy certain teams. It don't matter what the coverage is. Only thing I think I would have done differently as the Steelers is I would have threw maybe some different looks at him or just throw the house at him, man. Just take a chance. I mean, you either going to lose or you're going to win or go home. So maybe I would have did some things a little differently, but I wasn't overly shocked at what I saw. So to wrap this up, I think if Beasley can get going, if they could get any kind of contributions when it's necessary, like I said, the Patriots are going to score. But at the end of the day, bruh, you just need a few stops. If you can get a few stops when you need them, I think the Atlanta Falcons win this game. I don't believe that the Patriots are that strong defensively. Once again, not
Ooh, Sim. Oh, I think Sim had just dropped off there for a hot second. All right. Well, he'll be back. He'll be back momentarily. But what I will say though, in the meantime, is while he's still getting his bearings back, as far as the my pick, I'm going with the Falcons because I wanted them to win it back in '98. You know what I'm saying? I wanted them to be able to get them, but they weren't able to get it. They weren't able to make it happen. So hopefully this time, I think the game will be a relatively high scoring game, but it'll be a nice, balance between the two. Like I think it'll be in the 30s.
Yeah.
The score would be like high 20s, low 30s, and then it'll come down to like a field goal or a good defensive stop by either one of the teams. Because I think defensive-wise, I think Vic Beasley could really come out and do some damage. I think that he'll have a chance to really do that in this game on the defensive side. So I don't know if he'll necessarily be about Julio Jones because I know they do. They'll do a good job of trying to keep him in check. So Sanu's going to have to really, step up in the game here. So we'll see. Like I think it'll be a very balanced game, especially if they can keep the pass and run attack going strong. They'll be good. It'll be a nice contest, especially between both teams because they both have that kind of attack. So we'll see what happens. But I'll throw it to you, AZ.
People forget that Dan Quinn was the defensive coordinator when the Seahawks played the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So, he knows, how to scheme against Brady. And the question is, like has been stated, does he have the players to get there? And he does in Vic Beasley, who I believe ended up leading the NFL in sacks this year, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've got a guy who can cause havoc, but I'm pretty sure that the Patriots are going to try to eliminate him to give Tom Brady some time, because if he can have time, he's going to just pick you apart, as we've seen him do time and time before. On the other hand, I think the Falcons' offense presents some problems for the Patriots' defense, matchup-wise. You got two backs in Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman that can just absolutely destroy you. And if you pay too much attention to them, you got Julio Jones. And what's the little speedy receiver they got? Gabriel?
Yeah,
Tyler Gabriel. I think that's his name. Who is kind of like a, Tyreek Hill type, in that he has some game-breaking speed. So the Falcons' offense presents some problems, and I think the defense does too. If you can't get to Tom Brady, then you have no chance, honestly. He's been in the game too long, seen too many coverages, and you're just not going to fool him. What you can do is try to knock him off a spot and get him frustrated, but fooling him, you're not going to do. And I think at this level, they understand that, and they just have to go out there and play ball. It really worries me that all three of us are picking the Falcons. And I think we all saying that we want to see them win. I just want a good game.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear the whole conceitedness of Tom Brady got suspended for 4 games and still won a championship. That, would kind of get on my nerves. So I'm going to pick the Falcons in a close one that might be more defensive than we think. So 31-27 Falcons.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be I think it's destiny. For some reason, it just feels like it might be Atlanta's time. Because at first they started off hot, cooled off a little bit, then picked back up. It just feels like something special is happening there, man. So that's why I'm going with them. However, I'm not ignorant and oblivious to the fact that it's the Patriots, it's Tom Brady, it's Bill Belichick, and a guy who doesn't get as much credit, Matt Patricia. Great defensive coordinator. Somehow he has these guys balling. So we'll see, but I think that Falcons might edge him. But all right, guys, we're going to wrap up with our last caller here, man. We got him in late, but I'm glad we're able to go ahead and get him in. And the floor is yours, man. This will be our final take for the night, so to speak.
Well, thank you for having me. Just thought I'd come on you guys' show First time ever been on your show. I've been watching your Sim. I wanted to say I respect everything you do. You actually inspired me to do YouTube videos, not to the extent what you do, but doing my, sports gaming and all that kind of stuff. I want to touch on something.
Appreciate it, man.
Oh, yeah, of course. Thank you. As far as the Falcons and Patriots Super Bowl, I think the Patriots going to win, guys. I want Atlanta to win, but I think the Patriots going to win. I think Brady, he going to get his 5th ring. I think it's his time. He's going to get that 5th ring. He finally going to get that monkey off his back, lose to the Giants twice. Just not being able to finish the deal when he needs to. I think that happens. I think Atlanta will be back next year, but I think Brady will finish his career with 5 rings. I think he will be the greatest of all time, even better than Montana. I know Montana never lost a Super Bowl. I get all that. But I still think Brady will be above Montana because of the work he's put in, everything he's went through, Deflategate, the thing with the Jets, all that stuff. I mean, Montana never went through that. Brady did, and he's still balling. I mean, that's just amazing to me. Now, as far as Madden goes, what I think about Madden 18, I don't know, man. I'm scared, to be honest with you. I'm terrified because every time we get expectations for Madden, it's like for some reason, it just don't live up to the hype. It just don't. Like, I'll give y'all an example. When 16 was done, we was all hyped about 17. We ready, excited, you know what I'm saying? The aggressive catch was going to be toned down. Everything was going to be, line play, and everything was going to be set. We going to have a sim-style Madden. Well, we did for the first month or two, and then all hell broke loose. You saw the quarter defense. You saw people running nickel. What was that? 3-3-5 defense, shutting down your run game. And it was like, what the heck, man? There's spots and holes all over the place. I should be able to run right through the hole, but that's here nor there.
Amen.
Now, as far as CFM go, I'm telling you guys, I just started going back into competitive, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I actually left it for 6 years, but talking to these guys on Twitter, they said, come on back, Nighthawk. You want to compete, so come on back. So
get that money, get that bread.
Yeah.
So I'll be competing in November. They want me to come back in March, but my boss won't let me off, so I can't go. So I'll be back in November when Madden 18 comes out. Try it again. I did pull an upset over Evil O, which was at the Madden Bowl. So I beat him head to head. So pulled an upset against him. So I'll take that to my grave. But as far as CFM, man, I understand we want traits in the game. But that's going to be some time, man. Personally, I don't see that happening in 18. I might not even expect it to happen in 19. We may not see that to 20 or 21. Now, I understand they got traits in MUT, but guys, what you guys got to understand is we asked for this. Not y'all, not SimFBall and Smitty and AZ. Y'all didn't ask for this. Guys like myself, we asked for this. We wanted this because we were tired of guys in Madden 16. I include myself. I blame myself for this. I took Denard Robinson, and I was balling with this man. I mean, destroying people, shredding people with Denard Robinson at quarterback, just lighting them up like he was Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, just destroying them. You know what I mean? And I get the whole concept of a guy like Denard Robinson. You got the college version. You just shredding me apart over here. What's going on here? So that's why the traits were put in. So a guy like myself can't take like Braxton Miller, OPP, out of position player and just shred you apart. If you got a guy like who is that? JJ Watt with edge rusher and chemistry, and I think it's another chemistry. I can't think of the chemistries right now. I don't got them in front of me, but edge rusher chemistry, man, along with JJ Watt, man. You can forget having that OOP freaking player at quarterback. He about to get killed back there because they going to be coming. They going to block Sergio Lyman. They going to get back there. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the chemistries I think was put in for guys like us, because we was tired of getting tore up by, out of position players. That don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? You got a guy, Denard Robinson, throwing for 300, 4 touchdowns like he Aaron Rodgers. That don't make sense, But I will say, I will agree with Smitty with, you forgot to mention Smitty conductor, man. Conductor is the real deal. We need that in CFM. That conductor, man, I can't play no salary cap up without conductor. I need that. But I want to know y'all thoughts, man. What y'all think needs to be added in the CFM? Because I know what I think need to be added. I think the draft need to be fixed personally. Like the draft, I think it need to be more realistic, give you that dynamic feel that you in New York or Chicago or Philly. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see a guy walk across stage, hold the jersey up. Let me see Roger Goodell in the game. Let me see that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me just looking at a screen where I see all the other 31 teams in my league and they picked this guy. Like, well, why he didn't walk across stage? Give me some more in depth. If a guy had a fishing trip, let me be able to know that. And I would like to see the app more interact with the connected franchise as well. I mean, I would like to see Madden somehow throw Superstar back in, because I know MLB The Show. I know this ain't a baseball show, but I'm gonna throw that game in there just for a second. They're making it so that Road to the Show now is more dynamic. Now in MLB 17, when you play Road to the Show, you got to make decisions not only on the field but off the field will affect your player. And another thing, you don't even have to create a new Road to Show player. You take the one from 16 and bring him over.
Yep.
So that's what I want to kind of see. If we could be able to do that in Madden, where we could take our current fans, like, I know y'all got a league, y'all got a sim style league. If y'all could just take that from 17 and bring that over to 18 without having to start over, without having to do all the picks and everything like that all over again, y'all can just take that franchise, bring it over to 18 and be like, okay, we're in year 12. Let's go, fellas. Boom. Just like that. I would like to see stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I know it's going
to had that last year, didn't it?
Yeah.
They've had it for 2 years now.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So I'm saying, I understand it's going to take time. I get that. And I know the whole concept the guys were saying in the chat, include myself, the focus is mutt, and I get all that, because they got esport. And like you were saying, SimFBallCritic, that esports got their hand in the pot. A lot of people got their hand in the pot now. Right. So they gotta go with these sponsors. I mean, I just read on Twitter guys won't even be able to get into these competitions if they're found dashboarding now, because EA is strengthening their way to qualify for these events. If you are caught dashboarding, where you get your butt kicked and you just decide to jump to the dashboard, to try to save your record so it doesn't count, you're going to be disqualified now. So guys got to either take the loss or not play now. So, I mean, I respect what EA is doing, trying to make it fair for guys like myself that, got to work a full schedule, can't really play as much as a lot of the pro guys, but that's going to be tough, man. And I know draft champions, I want to say draft champions needs to be tweaked, but I know y'all got a show to run. I ain't going to run y'all out with the draft champs because I know y'all don't play that mode too much or mud either, so we'll leave that for another show. But what y'all think, man?
First of all, we're going to give you a round of applause. I'm going to go ahead and mute you and back you out of the call, only because we're about to wrap up. But yeah, let's do this one more time. Great call, man. I'm going to tell you what. I think what we need to do, maybe if y'all want to do it next week, unless there's some news to break that we need to talk about, I think we really need to start doing segment shows. I think we really need to have a show just about CFM. Maybe we'll do that next week. I invite you to come on, man, and be a part of it. As y'all can hear my son coming here in the background, so I know it's time to go now. We could talk about draft champions, because the thing is, hold on, man, okay? Go over there for a minute, okay? I'm almost done. The thing about it, man, is we really need to have more opinions from guys who play different modes and things like that. Because clearly I can hear that you are a like-minded individual in terms of knowing what you want. You play competitively. You respect sim ball. You respect components of football that should be there. So guys like you, we really need to have a lot of conversation with and hear you guys' ideas. So let's go ahead and set that up now, man. If you want to come in, let me know here in the chat. Hold on, man. We'll bring you back. Hold on, okay? We'll bring you back next week. And then anybody else, man, I'll say we'll have to, keep it capped to about 3 or 4 people at a time if y'all want to do a panel or whatever, including us. But we could do a CFM show and just talk about what all we want in CFM, because I don't think trying to respond to it now is going to give us enough time. But I'll say this real quick. All of that stuff you said, we need. We need, and I know Azure appreciates this, we need immersion on and off the field. My dream is everything you do off the field affects the field. Everything from it. I'm still one of Azure's ideas, but he know I loves it too. A scout, sending your scouts to pro day and stuff like all of that should matter. So when we get to the draft, if I ain't do that, then maybe Azure and his Titans, they got the edge on me now. Because now they done talked to this boy. They done took him out. Now he looking at it like, you know what? I hope the Titans move on me because I want to be there. He ain't even really interested in the Steelers to where maybe he might pull an Eli Manning on me. I draft him, and now he like, nah, I don't want to be here.
Oh, man, don't talk that talk, man. Don't talk that talk. Man.
That would be crazy, right?
Now you going deep, man. Stop it, man.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
I'll appoint you president of VA.
We need it, bro. We need them. Because think about it, and I know Azure and Smitty both know this. What happened to the storyline? We see it's like they was getting ready to start doing a little bit of stuff. And it's
still there. It's just not immersive. Like it don't
not immersive.
Don't catch you. And then that whole NCAA bit of they can't put the player in the team colors no more. That's whack. So you just got a dude in there in an all black helmet, all black uniform. Terrible.
Crazy.
I mean, but what boggles me about that is you got NBA 2K on the other side who has a storyline built around the college.
Beautiful.
So why can't we have at least the colleges they use? I don't know, man. It's so much to be done.
So much to be done, man. Storylines. And speaking of NCAA, AZ, I mean, y'all know I'm always talking about this. The bidding. That bidding for like free agents, like what NCAA had for recruiting and all of that. We need that kind of stuff to re-sign players or to get free agents. I mean, just everything. We need it all, man. We do. We definitely. I think Madden definitely needs a superstar type mode because listen, look at FIFA already. Now they got Journey too, and they then had Be a Pro, which is better than Madden's player mode, which Madden technically don't have a player mode. It's all one really, because let me say this real fast, man. The idea of being able to that I could right now become a player in the Sim Standard Radio League and only play as him while Azure and everybody else and Smith, everybody else playing as a coach, that to me is dumb. I'm sorry. I mean, I understand trying to merge them, but yes, I'm saying it. I'm saying it about the company that's that's paying me. Remember that EA pays me? That is dumb. That to me is dumb. There's no reason why I should be able to create a player and I can only play for a certain amount of downs, but the rest of the league is as a coach. That's so stupid, man. It need to be like 2K. You have my career and my GM and all. It's separate. And don't even get me started on that, man. But all of that, we're going to save it till next week. But I know Smitty and AZ got a little something to say, man. What you think, Smitty?
I was just going to conserve, what my thoughts until next week's show. But I mean, all I would say is that they do need to have those options. But before getting all into all those options, you need to have more control. You got to have that player control.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? if I'm gonna be controlling my halfback, controlling my wide out, whatever it is that I create, and say I do superstar, I want to have control over what it is I do. I don't want to be forced into sequences. You see what I'm saying? So that's the key thing that has to happen. So, but that's all I'll leave it at. Like I said, I'll stop there for now until we get to, get to it next week and dive into it deeper. So,
Absolutely.
What to you, AZ?
Oh man, I'll kind of conserve and wait for it too, because that's my bread and butter right there, man. NCAA, just the whole immersion factor. That I said this a long time ago, that if we could combine the two things, and they finally got it. I think it was Madden 25 on Xbox 360. You could play NCAA and import the draft class in the Madden 25 on 360. Then we moved over the next year, everybody pretty much the PS4, and it was gone. So, and then we saw a little tidbit of that being able to edit the draft class with this year through the bug. But it's just a lot. I mean, it's a lot to do, and hopefully we'll try to tackle that on the show next week. We appreciate everybody who participates and chats and hits us up and just comes through. Man, it's a community show, and we love to interact with people and get ideas and keep this thing moving, man.
Absolutely, man. I can't believe we almost went 3 hours, man. This is crazy. But hey, y'all demanded, we'll do it, man. But we'll save it for next week, man. So some of you guys, I know just hit us up. Let us know if you want to be a part of it. I know a lot of you may want to pop in and out. I don't know if you can have but so many people in the hangout. I think maybe like 8 or 10, but we'll figure that out. But I know some of you guys definitely want to be a part of it. Nighthawk, definitely want you on for sure if you can make it. And we'll hash it out, man. But I will respond to what a couple of guys in here are saying. Team play, I never really played it when it was out, but I could see why you would want to have that now, because look at all these other games, the My Parks and the Pro-Ams and all that kind of jazz, or even like FIFA's club. So it would probably be cool if Madden had an official creator player like a My Player. Then you could take this guy and compete. That might be sweet, but who knows? You've heard Rex say that they intend to bring that back at some point. Maybe the two will meet. This is me thinking. If I were to do that, if I'm saying I'm going to bring team play back, I'm not just going to bring it back the way it was. I would have something new and improved from creating the player and then reintroduce it. Because that would be my sell if I'm the company. My sell is play with your friends online. You want to be the greatest show on turf. Your guy can be the quarterback. He could be the receiver. He could be, that would be my pitch. Throw my little marketing thing in it, because now you really have a real creative player. That would be kind of dope for those who want to play that. But we'll get into all that next week, man. But like Azure said, we thank everybody who came through. I see it's still 33 people live watching right now, so we salute to you guys. We got up to like 50 at one point. And thank you in advance for you guys who are going to see it via, the replay. So we'll be back next week. We appreciate everything, guys, and that's going to do it for the night. So y'all be easy. Watch the Super Bowl. Don't eat too many wings. Don't drink too much beer. And don't drive home drunk. Don't do that. Please don't do that. But all right, guys. Catch y'all later. Peace.
Call an Uber. Call a Lyft. Don't be out there drinking and driving.
Oh, you know what? Real quick, did y'all see that commercial? I think it was Doritos or somewhere. Now they got this. Yeah, did y'all see that joint? You can blow the bag and it tell you if you've had too much to drink, and it gives you an Uber code.
Oh,
that
wow,
is crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So you
bad
utilize that. Yeah, you pretty bad. Yeah. Look, imagine the malfunction though. Imagine that joint. It started like you said. It started telling you that it's your breath instead of your liquor.
Yo, you can't go talk to that girl.
Yeah.
Your breath is on 10.
That's a parody right there, man. I might get one of them.
Dave Chappelle.
That is a sketch right there, guys.
There's some gum at the bottom of this bag.
Yeah, you don't need no Uber code because she ain't going home with you. Get this Tic Tac in the back of the bag. Oh, man. Y'all see we be clowning, man. But all right, y'all. We catch y'all next week, man. Peace out.
All right. Peace.